All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live, the RGN New Year's Open, and we are on our second night of broadcast here. Sorry for the delays, guys. We had some server issues, but it is what it is, and we are now live in the pistol round. I am Sprawll. By my virtual side is the one and only Buck. What's going on, bud?
Not a whole lot. I'm pretty excited to finally watch some CS. Feels like it's been the inevitable, never-ending delay, but we are getting into the pistol round here on the first map, which is Cash. And we do see Flying V coming out of A quickly, taking down Razor. Who's Kusta over on the highway is able to get the headshot on Dynamo. Fade with the Glock behind the forklift. They're not able to find the shot. Repeaks can't find it again. It's a 4 versus 4 right now. 2 men with armor on the CT side and 1 defuse kit. So they do have the chance here to retake, but Funshine shuts that down, as does Jay. It's all down to the last man standing now as Kusta and Quicksilver are dropped. A nice pistol round there from Flying V, and probably a little bit of a sigh of relief maybe for some of those Flying V bettors. I know people were a little bit confused about who these teams were, maybe a little bit of misinformation spreading around as well.
Yeah, exactly. So just to clarify a little bit, this is a different tempo lineup than what we've seen in the previous RGN tournament. So they've picked up a new roster. It is the X-Selfless roster. So they won ESEIM, and you can find some more information under that name there. Selfless was their old team name, and then we got the Flying V as well, and you got some stats on them there, Bob?
Yeah, Flying V went 8-8 in ESEAP, which some people would say, wow, 16-2 Tempo versus an 8-8 ESEAP team. Tempo should win because 16 is more than 8. You got to realize that ESEAP is 10 times harder than IM. And depending on the strength of schedule that Tempo had, that could definitely affect it. So I'd say these teams are actually pretty evenly matched, and the odds on CSGO Lounge actually make quite a bit of sense. So it's really just going to come down to who's more prepared for these maps. I know Funshine is just absolutely insane with the AWP. He's definitely going to be someone to watch out for.
Yeah, and right now we do see there's a little bit of action going on near the B site. We've got the Flying V pretty much just playing picks at this point. They don't want to just throw away an anti-eco, which you can see on the CT side. We have armor on all the players. We actually have a CZ75 on Kusta, and I don't understand that buy at all, but if he's used to it, and maybe he's tamed that new beast, he's got something up his sleeve. But regardless, we're going to see a little bit more action here in that they've taken mid control. We're going to see a beautiful wallbang through Squeaky by Razor. That's Fade going down, and we have about 20 seconds left on the clock. And this is the problem with playing this passive, is that now they really need to take a site quickly and get the bomb down. So that's exactly what they're doing on the A site right now. We do see a couple players coming from the truck side. Actually, only Anomaly left on the map. 1v3, lots of lit terrorists, though. So this is actually a little bit more doable than it looks, but that's actually going to be Funshine finishing things off. A double kill for him, double kill for Jay, and the Flying V picking up the second round of this map.
Anomaly was very close to picking off that third T player. That was Jay. He was down below, I think, 10 HP. I think he was right around that level, maybe 12 or 10. I can't remember. But if he got in that kill, makes it an even more successful eco round than it already was. But they got 2 kills, took 2 guns out of the hands. And you can see the players that had to rebuy very broke. Dynamo sitting at 250, Fade at 0. So that's a big factor here. They're trying to cripple that economy so that coming into the first full buy for both teams, it'll be a little bit imbalanced in favor of Tempo.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, we do see an A-side stack and Fade. He's going to take down Razor as he starts to push up Fade.
Oh, my God.
Oh, I missed that shot.
Oh, my
White
God.
Hound getting a beautiful headshot. Apparently, again, I missed that shot, but I wish I saw it.
Yeah, that is, I think we're going to actually see it on stream. I'm watching it over here on the left. We do see Quick getting 1. It's now a 3 versus 2 here. Another good eco round from Tempo here, as this man on quad box is getting into a bit of a duel here. Here comes the nade from Jay, coming up highway, should connect, touchdown. John Elway with the throw, Jay getting the other one, Whitehound. But yeah, Whitehound hit a nasty shot, peeking down B. He just had that crack where players come around towards the toxic barrels and just one-tapped.
I love my Canadian internet.
Shot.
I can see it so delayed. Literally, we're like, yeah, so far it's like a minute 10 on my stream to the right. So yeah, I just saw that beautiful, beautiful headshot. So good on him. And we're going to see the first gun round here, round number 4. So very important for Tempo to get on the board. Being on CT side Cash, you don't want them to start running away with this, obviously. That's not the optimal situation, as we do see the bomb. It's heading towards the B site right now. Currently we have Jay. He's boosted up, but not actually peeking from the boost, just waiting, checking back between Squeaky and then seeing if maybe the CTs are doing a boost of their own over top. But if we look at the B site right now, we got Whitehound. He's playing from Checkered and Quicksilver from Alleyway. And I do believe this is inevitably going to be a B side play. They still have a minute left on the clock, but we are seeing some smoke, some grenades go down into the B site, and the take is underway here. And first, Fade's going to get one, and this fire is raining down. Whitehound doesn't realize that he's burning alive. He is dead as he was fully blind, and that is why you use Molotovs in that site. That is just so important. Unless you, unless you hop up onto one of those boxes in the back, it's very easy to literally burn to death like we just saw. So great B take by the Flying V. Now Kusta and Razor forced to save.
Flying V is showing why they picked this map. That was a nice play there. The Molly take, tossing them through Toxic Window, or I guess some people have called it Park or Playground, whatever you choose to call it. The Molly's raining into sight. Easy execution there for them, taking down both players quick, forcing that player in heaven to push out as well. So it's just a great play from them, really showing their colors here on Cash.
Yeah, and we do see both players getting taken down. One of the things to note about Cash, very difficult to save weapons. The map just... It just doesn't have that many places to hide. We saw last night when we were casting, there's kind of near the Squeaky room there was kind of electric box boost that you can do by yourself. That was probably the sneakiest place that I've seen so far on this map, but even there, they're going to be checking Squeaky rooms, purely because that is a very common save location, especially when the bomb is planted in B. But regardless, no guns coming into the round number 5. We are seeing a mid-push from the CTs.
This could pay off to their favor if they're able to get one or two. The thing that's really hurting Tempo right now is they only have 7 kills total as a team. And most of those kills did come on the eco rounds, but their pistol round, they didn't really do enough. And as a result, they were really broke in the last round. 2 players with body armor and no nades. They kind of sort of forced up a little bit there with the M4s. They maybe should have gone with the Fama Spy instead. But now they're very broke, and that nade, my god. Anomaly, Whitehound, and Quicksilver all below 40 HP. That was pretty nasty.
I like this stack, though. Like, it's creative in that if someone's going to pop up over here, like, generally speaking, we saw in that last round, there was actually a terrorist on the other side just holding tight there. This is a good way to counter if someone's going to boost up over, but it just hasn't happened, and Jay will be able to... Ooh, Jay gets one, but gets traded upon immediately. So that is going to be a couple frags here for the CTs, but I don't think it's going to be enough as Kusta, last one on the field, fully equipped tees, and he's got a USP in hand from Truck, and he's going to try and land that shot onto Dynamo. Actually, it's a very nice shot onto no one, as he is holding onto that A site. We do see Funshine. He's playing that kind of lurk flank position from Z, but doesn't matter as Dymo will be able to finish that round, and a 5-0 on the T side. Flying V looking really, really good on their map pick.
So how does somebody hit a nice shot on no one?
I know, right? I don't know how that exactly works, but
mouth, I'm like,
on to no one.
I killed no one that round.
Pretty much. Pretty much. That's why he names himself that. He's just like, you killed a nobody. Let's be serious here. No, no one. That's definitely a nice name and makes us say some awkward things. Regardless, we're going to see Kusta picking up a frag from Checkered room early on. So Fade going down, and that's the way Tempo really needed to start this round. They need to get that pick early, and then now basically just play passive, wait for them to execute on a site, and that being said, their B execute was beautiful. So if they try that again, they do have some players in Checkered. They have Anomaly up in Vince. So that's actually going to help out a lot, as last time they had 2 players playing B inside a site, one from alley, one from actually inside, and they played it to a T as they took that site.
And look at Kusta pushing through that Molly there, dropped down to 26 HP.
Yeah.
And maybe a little bit foolish, but a little bit wise at the same time. He knew exactly what he needed to do. He flashed, waited for that shot, and he doesn't get taken down. He is able to get one here. That's no one down. Takes down Dynamo as well, who dropped Anomaly. And it's now a 4 versus 2 here. Funshine and Jay, the last 2 standing against Kusta, Quicksilver, Whitehound, and Razor. Bum is down in B. There's a man in Checker, and look at that nade coming in on Kusta. The touchdown nade from Jay, making it a 3 versus 2. Funshine dropped by Whitehound. Jay responds with a kill on Razor, but Whitehound's going to take him down. And that's going to be the first round on the board for Tempo Gaming here, coming in round number 6. But if they lose this round here, they will not be looking pretty. They lost a lot of guns that round. That was their first real full buy, and they are very broke afterwards. So losing this round would be devastating to the side. They'd probably have to double eco.
Yeah, no, this is definitely, and this is, as the Flying V, you're not, obviously you want to win out halves. That's just inevitably, you want to win every single round, but it's not necessarily the most practical way of looking at a match, because things don't always work out the way you plan. But them losing that round, ooh, people getting dropped very, very early. So mid, bomb is down. We're going to see Dynamo trying to retrieve that here. But if the Flying V can take this round and break the economy of tempo, that's actually not a bad thing at all. They can continue to string a couple more rounds together, and they'll be easy rounds at that. We are going to see a B-side take Jay getting a beautiful headshot onto Whitehound, but getting sprayed through. And that's not only on the other side there. He almost walked back into fire, and that would have put him down immediately. But Kusta taking down Daimo. Now only 2 terrorists left on the map.
Yeah, and here we see Funshine, the last man standing with the AWP. He's a nutty AWPer, but 1 versus 4, and everyone's full HP. He's really going to have to nail his shots here. And he'd be wise to try and retreat if he could. He's going to get, instead of him, he's going to get taken down. They can still buy in this next round here, but it's not necessarily ideal. I have a feeling we'll see an eco here from Flying V, or maybe partial buy, as no one is sitting at 5,900. Maybe he'll pick up a rifle and try and get an entry frag, pick up a gun for somebody on the team. Instead, he's going to buy some Tech 9s for the rest of the guys, even out that money. Wise play there, as force buys generally do not work.
Yep, unless you got some crazy Tech 9 shots, and then things can go crazy. And we do actually see 2 on the board. So Daimo and No One both utilizing those pistols. As we do see, it is going to be an A main play, as all 5 terrorists have grouped up here. Razor, he's going to be on the other side of the smoke, playing from sight, was in quad. He sent a nade on through, took Jay down to about 58 HP, but those flashes working out pretty well, as Kusta will be able to pick up 1, as now rushing into the site, we're going to see Razor getting 1. Does get a kill, 2 kills back for the T's, though, and that's going to be Anomaly coming around the corner from A main, and he's going to get both those players. Unfortunately, no bomb plant for the Flying V, as I imagine no one probably could have stuck that, but wanted to try and get the frag and go for the win.
Yeah, we did see, again, the Tech 9 showing its strength there, coming around the corner with the Tech 9, getting the double headshot kill. We saw Dai do that insane 1 versus 2 clutch on Mirage last night with the Tech 9, so it's definitely a nutty gun. We keep hoping that Valve will someday patch it, but I think for now we're going to be seeing a lot of Tech 9 buys on eco rounds.
Yeah, no, I definitely don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon, considering how long it took for the CZ75 kind of fixes to come into play. But we are going to see another B-side play here, and I like this from, ooh, that's actually, well, I guess that's a smoke so they can enter into Checkered there. They're going to be flashing themselves through, actually. No One now peeking inside of Checkered, gets taken down by Quicksilver, and No One doesn't actually realize where they're from, and they just got hit from all angles, as now Funshine will be able to take down Whitehound. He's alone in Checkered. Actually, no, Jay will be dropping down with him here. Quicksilver playing from alley. Jay will get 1 frag. 2v3 situation now, as we do see Razor. He's going to be a key player here, as he's coming from vents. Does look like Funshine, though, onto him, as he is going to be staring at those vents. Now smoked off, though, as they are just trying to hold on to the site. Plenty of time for the terrorists here, as they have 50 seconds left on the clock. Again, Funshine just stuck inside of Checkered. Jay now working to see if he can get any pick on a flank, maybe, but doesn't look like that's going to be the case.
Funshine's really going to have to hit the shot on the man in vents. I imagine eventually he's going to push in, but he's probably going to let him get this peek here, and he spots the leg of Kusta. Not able to take him down. Kusta gets the shot. It's now a 1 versus 3 here. Jay pushing into sight. He's going to get taken down from behind as Quicksilver and Razor come in with the kill. So that's another round in favor of Tempo, and they're starting to find their tempo?
Their pace. Their pace, of course.
They're starting to set a rhythm.
Exactly. I see what you did there as well. Oh man, round number 10, we are 5-4. And again, the Flying V, they're going to be probably still happy about this. They got 5 rounds. They got it pretty early on here. Actually, 5 in a row. We've had 4 in a row now for Tempo. So kind of going back and forth, but we do have a save round for the Flying V, and starting things off quickly, that's going to be Kusta getting 2 easy ones, gets a 3rd, and now that's going to be Whitehound from the site. Kusta finishing it off, getting a 4K in that round. And again, I think we talked about it yesterday. Those eco rounds, although you know that you're killing people that don't have armor and such like that, North American teams just get hyped on frags. So that is a great round for Tempo, in that they're going to get pumped up. They're going to be coming into this next round with some energy, as we are moving into round number 11 here. 5-5, the scoreline.
Kusta just played that exactly how he needed to play it. Just waiting around corners, holding the shot, holding the angle. It's something that a lot of new players struggle with, but pro players know it all too well. Just hold that corner, hold that angle. The players will come to you. If you wait there, they will come.
No doubt, especially with that AWP, the way he was positioned in a checker, definitely the best way he could have played it there was the way he had done so. So we're going to see Funshine getting a very early pick here onto Razor. Razor trying to get aggressive into A main, but Kusta playing an off angle, if you will, inside of A site, just crouching to the left of the site, getting Funshine and kind of an angle that I don't think he expected. So we do see it is going to be an even player count. No, Jay will be able to take down Anomaly, and this is going to be an A side take as we do see Kusta jumping around. He's going to pull out his Tech 9, gets one frag for it. Now from A highway, no one will be able to drop. It's going to be Whitehound going down, and eventually we are going to see Kusta as well. So Quicksilver in a 1v3. We'll see if he can make something happen here. He does have a kit and a little bit of damage done to Fade and no one. And that's going to be a lot of damage done to Daimo as he does hit that headshot. Does have an M4A1S though, and that's not going to kill him in one blow to the head. So just bringing him down to 12 HP. So it does look like he is just working exit frags at this point. Clearly, we're seeing no aggression from his part, just staying in connector, and he's going to be peeking back and forth, see if he can strip some guns from Flying V, just make this a little bit more expensive for them. But this will be the 6th round on the board for Flying V. And they're going to feel good to be getting another one on the board after dropping 5 in a row there.
I almost question the play here from Quicksilver. He's sitting at now $11,000, more than enough money to rebuy in the next round.
He didn't get the op either.
And he doesn't get the op. If he just went for that and just tried to take some guns out of the hands of Flying V, that would have been big because the players on Flying V were sitting very low on money, just around 1,000. So if he had gotten the frags, could have really hurt the economy for Flying V. Instead, they're going to be sitting pretty nice on money. Funshine's able to pick up that op, full nades on everyone. So maybe a little bit of a misplay there.
Yeah, I agree, definitely. And after he did get a little bit aggressive, obviously, I don't think he realized that he landed that headshot. Maybe he did. But regardless, we are going to see Jay taking down Kusta very early on, and that's a very important frag. He's top fragging 16, 2, and 9, and it seems like if he goes down, that is really beneficial to the Flying V, as they are prepping that A site as we speak. Anomaly and Razor holding from inside. Anomaly kind of back towards truck a little bit, but to be honest with you, a little bit out in the open. That smoke is kind of protecting him as of now, but we are going to see actually the bomb heading back towards mid. They do have no one posted up here, and that's weird. No one being the player. He's got mid control right now, so we're going to see Funshine hitting an op shot, and that's really important as they only have one player now inside of the A site. Whitehound trying to back up from truck, but he's got 8 HP.
And here's Razor getting walled off with that molly. He gets stuck behind the big box, but he's able to get a big kill onto Fade. Dynamo dropped as well. It's down to no one in Funshine versus Whitehound and Quicksilver. A 2 versus 2. Bomb going to be planted in the A bomb site with about 30 seconds left, but the flank is on. There's going to be a man in garage and a man over by truck. Quicksilver creeping up here with that M4A1S. It's silent but deadly. He's going to toss a nade towards Quad Box. Might be able to take that man down. No, drops it to 32 HP. Finishing him off with the M4. Funshine, though, with the shot. And it's all of a sudden a 1 versus 1. Op versus M4. Who's going to hit the shot? Will it be Funshine? Will it be Quicksilver? Quicksilver going for the cheeky peek over Red Box. He's going to go for that spray and hit the head of Funshine. So another round on the board for Tempo. Tying it up at 6-6. Not exactly what I would have expected based on the early rounds here. Flying V getting off to a 5-0 lead and then dropping 5 in a row, winning 1, dropping 1. So a little bit of back and forth now, maybe a bit closer than it started out being, but this is the game I expected to see.
Yeah, no, it's definitely getting a lot closer here now that we're 6-6, but just want to talk about that round for a second. I'm a little bit confused why you saw the flank from Quicksilver, and he was spotted by no one. No one went back to Quad Box and then peeked out towards truck and he literally walked forward and just put himself blatantly in the view of that flanker. So I'm not really sure if that was just a communication error between him and Funshine. Maybe thought Funshine was going to be peeking there, but regardless, we're going to see a B-side play. 1 frag so far. That's going to be for Jay, but looks like they are going to be able to handily deal with this. Is the Tempo lineup as Quicksilver, almost goes down 10 HP, but can't handle that deal as well as he had hoped for Fade. As 7-6 as a scoreline, and I still think Flying V is feeling all right. I imagine their CT side going to be pretty impressive. Again, they picked this map, so you honestly, you don't pick a map that you haven't figured out both sides in. They realized they were going to be starting on T side, and that's been a pretty successful half for them. CT, I imagine they're going to have something up their sleeve.
We talked about it last night when we watched, I believe it was the United game, or maybe it was the game before that. 6 rounds T-side is pretty good, so they could just lose out at this point, go down 9-6, and they'd still be pretty happy with their performance. However, Tempo is really getting into a nice rhythm here. They're setting the pace. They're building up a lot of momentum, and I know these are a lot of synonyms here for Tempo. It's not intentional, but they're creating a game they want to play. And if Flying V continues to lose rounds, Tempo's going to come into the second half with a lot of fire under them, and they're just going to continue to push through. And if they can take Pistol into 9-6, they're looking at a pretty healthy lead, and then they could just carry that momentum into the end of this first map.
Yeah, most definitely is. We got about 50 seconds left on the clock here. No real commitment to a site so far from the Flying V. They actually have the bomb alone in A main on J. Funshine is actually boosted up at the moment. Will drop down. They are going to be going for this B side take, but this is a fake of sorts, as it's only going to be Dynamo and no one pushing into the site. If they get both the frags as well, which they almost do, as now Whitehound goes down, and yeah, all the CT's attention are over here, but Razor, he's going to be dropping the Incinerary. That gives away his positioning at least. Jay knows that there's a player probably right around this corner and gets the frag. That's very important if they wanted to take that site. And now Kusta playing from truck. He's got his work cut out for him. 2v2 situation. It's going to be Anomaly and Kusta. One coming from a main, or rather a highway. That's going to be Anomaly. As we do see, it's going to be the AWP on Kusta. Both of these players, one from Forklift will go down. That's Jay, but firing back is Funshine. AWP versus AWP, and he's actually going to tap the bomb. Funshine, he's not buying it though, as they're both going to miss shots. And this is both the operas for each team. This is going to be an exciting 1v1, as Kusta is going to tap the bomb once again, realizes he's totally running out of time. Funshine has that planted perfectly for him, and Kusta forced to retreat. And that's going to be the Flying V picking up a round that really is important before the end of this first half.
It came down to the two operas, and I talked about it before the match, how good Funshine is with the op, and I kind of bit my tongue a little bit there, as both players missed somewhat easy shots. They knew where each other were. It wasn't like it was a guess. He did hit the first shot, though, which was huge. And something to note, that plant spot was massive. It seems like such a small detail, but planting that spot, planting the bomb in the open, allows them to play back further. They had a man forklift and a man in garage. They can play so passively and to protect that bomb. But here we see Kusa starting off nicely here, taking down 2 men, boosting, as does Anomaly. That's Fade, Jay, and No One down in the 15th round here, and it's already a 5-on-2, and it's only about 30 seconds into the round. That's pretty crazy. So it's going to be a hard round here for Flying V to win, and at this point, economic damage doesn't matter. They just need to try and win this round. And they would love to go into the second half with the lead, but 7 rounds, again, very healthy T-side for Cash. I don't think they can be very disappointed with themselves, and since this was their map pick, I'm sure they're more than confident as a T-side on Cash. So or as a CT side on Cash. So we'll see what they have in store for us in the second half here.
Yeah, we are going to see Funshine Dynamo heading over to this A site. Beautiful flashbang that's going to blind both T's as they are trying to get in here. 40 seconds left on the clock, and that nade should be able to take Kusta down fairly low. And actually, no, missed completely. So Anomaly, he's down to 22 HP, gets that one frag. Funshine all alone here. We'll see if he can do any damage to this lineup. It is the last round of the half, though, so they just need to kind of just go for it. And that's going to be Razor dropping him there. And we're going to be seeing a beautiful replay right now of Kusta hitting those flick shots in mid. And again, Kusta just being definitely the front runner right now. 22-9. The next person on the score sheet is going to be Whitehound for their team, and that's 12-1-11. So definitely a big difference in fragging there. And if Flying V can figure out a way to just disable Kusta, and again, he's the main opera there, if they can try and avoid him as much as they can and just pick off the weaker players, pick the weaker sites, they can definitely just do a lot. Not that they have been doing bad, but that is kind of their goal at this point, having that strong player kind of isolated. But now moving over to the CT side, they're not really going to have a choice, as the T's in tempo, they're going to be coming wherever they feel. So we're about to go live into the second pistol round here, and we'll see if the Flying V has something special up their sleeve for this CT pistol. Again, this is the map pick for Flying V. The next maps are going to be Overpass, which would be Tempo, their pick. So interesting choice on their hand. And then Dust2 is going to be our third map, and that'll be a knife round for the side. It's not a hugely important knife round. Definitely not like what we saw from Nuke on third maps last night. Yeah, knife round for Nuke, that's no fun.
Yeah, Kusta definitely the player of the game. He's got 5 2Ks in this game, a 3K and a 4K already, and it's only the first half. So he has really been hitting all of his shots, everything he needed to do. I remember that 4K on the Eco, obviously an easy round, but he did have an AWP. It's not like he had a P90 and he was just spraying down armorless Ts. He still had to hit his shots on a hard rush with a Tech 9, a gun that cannot be underestimated. But we are going to be coming into the second half here. Tempo on the T side. 3 men with armor. And we see a Molly on Anomaly and Quicksilver. A couple of nades around on the rest. And it does look like they are committing towards A. There's a man faking over at B. That is Whitehound, just trying to set up a distraction. And I don't think anyone is falling for it here. They got 3 men in garage and 1 over by Squeaky. It's just a matter of time before they opt to execute. No one's going to hear that man. That's Razor jumping around in the Squeaky door. And they have a man right around the other edge. That's no one. There's a man over by Forklift, which is Fade. Someone in Z connector. I can't see who it is. It's Funshine there, just peeking down mid. And here comes the push, the execute onto A. First one's going to go down. That is Razor, dropped by no one, but Anomaly coming in, taking down both the men over on the A bomb site. Whitehound getting one as well. That's Funshine down. It's now a 4 versus 2 here, so things kind of falling apart a little bit here in the pistol round for Flying V. A nice take there from Tempo. So it's a 2 versus 4 retake for Dynamo and Jay. They do have a kit, so this is potentially winnable armor on Dynamo. And you see Jay getting into a duel here with this man over by Quadbox. That's Kusta coming out the victor and somehow finds the second shot onto Dynamo as well. So a 2K for Kusta, a 2K for Anomaly, and a nice round there from Tempo. Trying to continue where they left off in the first half. They started out a little bit slow, losing 5 in a row, and then they really came back strong, winning the first half 8-7, and now they're up 9-7, taking the first pistol round. But they cannot lose this eco here. If they lose this eco, that will be devastating. So hopefully the 5-7 doesn't come out too strong for Tempo. Meanwhile, though, Flying V, obviously, if they can win this, they're right back in it. It's going to be a 9-8 scoreline with Tempo on the eco themselves. So it's a very close game so far. I'm really excited. Both teams really bringing out their A game.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And Tempo playing this round very, very slow, and that's not a bad idea at all. That was actually what we saw from the Flying V on their second round. They won the pistol and then basically came into this round and just did an A take, but took it very, very slow. I think it was 20 seconds left on the clock when they finally got a control of that A site, and that might be a little bit too little of time. You're kind of cutting it close, but again, if it works out, it works out, right? So we got a minute still left on the clock. We're going to see Anomaly smoking off Forklift, heading out a Squeaky door right now. Fade will fire a couple shots in his direction, trying to get that wall bang back towards his Anomaly here, as Fade now walking up towards Forklift. And again, this is going to be an A-side play, as they do have 2 players, Fade and No One, both armor 5-7, Fade down to 21 HP. But it will be an execute on this site. Funshine still in mid, hoping that someone gets aggressive for Highway, but that's not going to be the case, as No One goes down on site. Fade as well, and that's going to be a little bit of a difficult round for the rest here, as Flying V, no kits, no anything. They're probably just going to try and get some exits. Jay and Funshine just in mid-warehouse right now doing exactly that.
Now, I thought No One was going to get a little bit more bang for his buck there. Sitting around the corner with the X-ray, I looked at him, I'm like, they're not going to peek him, they're not going to peek him. They're both going to go towards quad. But Kusta came around the corner and just completely ripped his head off there. And Dynamo is going to get a kill here from Truck. That's 1, taking down the man that was Kusta, who came into the site, dropping his teammate No One. Quicksilver is able to respond, though, and the last 2 aren't even going to find a duel at all, I don't think. Jay's just waiting for that man to push out, and he's not going to find him. Finally getting into a duel here. Oh my goodness, will they get a kill? No, nothing happens. So, saving those P250s for the next round, I guess it's not the worst thing in the world. They're going to be stuck on another eco here, and it looks like Tempo is poised to go up 11-7 after losing 5 in a row. That's definitely something they got to be excited about. And something that should be said, that slow play on A, when you come into an anti-eco, you pretty much know what you're going to be facing. Pistols holding corners. If you're not facing pistols holding a corner, you're facing a rush. So you play passive and let the CTs get antsy. They're not going to want to sit at those corners forever, so you kind of wait and see what they're going to do. Are they going to... Most CT sides don't get that patient on an eco. They start to get worried. What's happening? What's going on? We need some information. They peek, get taken down, and there's the opening the team needs. So it's all just playing that patient game. And it does work out. It worked for Tempo, and it worked for Flying V. And it's something you'll see a lot on maps like Cache, where there's a lot of corners that you can hold some strong angles with pistols.
Yeah, no doubt about it, as we do see a couple players getting aggressive near the A site. We got Quicksilver here from main, Anomaly from Squeaky. He's going to be smoking out towards Forklift, but it does look like the action is heading towards that B site. They don't have the bomb with them, so they're not committing quite yet. But again, they're just working this anti-eco, just like you said. They don't want to go into anything too crazy, and if they are going to be taking a site, they're going to be checking every corner thoroughly on their way in. So the bomb now is going to be rotating back over to that B site. We do see Razor already over here with, he's got Kusta and White Hound. Inside of the site, though, this is not necessarily, well, they have 3 players over here. It's not stacked, but we're going to see Anomaly coming out onto that A site, and he takes down... Oh, no, actually, he goes down. Fade will get that frag, and holding this crossfire here, we're going to see Jay get 1. But unfortunately, not quite enough, as Fade does have an AK-47, but 1v3, no kit. Does look like he's going to be heading into Squeaky and saving that rifle.
Yeah, no kit, no armor. He's just going to take that AK, wisely save it. He's sitting at 2,200 right now. After they lose this round, they'll all be able to buy. But being able to save the rifle definitely is going to help them if they need to buy up in a round later and a player needs a gun. There's so much little tiny pieces of game economy that a lot of players don't understand. People would be thinking, why is he saving? They're going to be able to buy next round anyway. Because it's not just about the next round, it's about the next 3 or 4.
Yeah, exactly. They have to be looking at the long term here, and their idea of the long term is they're coming back to win this. It's 10-7. They're on the CT side. They picked this map. Now that they're moving into a gun round, they need to make it happen here. They need to put some sort of force back, and tempo. They have 3 in a row. Obviously, getting that pistol, getting the 2 anti-ecos. If they win this one, they're going to be in a great position. We saw how important it was that the Flying V got those 5 rounds on T very early on. They stacked up some money. Inevitably, Tempo was able to come back with 5 of their own. But we'll see if they can follow suit in that tempo gaming. They might be able to get the same kind of round advantage if they take this one, but we'll find out here shortly, as we do see they're going to be heading over towards this A site. We have an AWP on Funshine, not a surprise there. And again, Fade still utilizing the AK-47. I didn't get to check, but did you see if Funshine was purchased that AWP from Fade? Because Fade's sitting on about 2,500 right now.
I didn't see who picked up the AWP.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure there. He doesn't have a helmet, but...
Based on Funshine and Fade's money, I'd say that Fade probably didn't buy that for him.
Yeah. Anyhow, regardless, we're going to see Funshine playing from A main. He actually spotted a player in, I believe that's Anomaly, just deking back and forth there. That is exactly him, and he's going to be just trying to bait out that op shot. They know that Funshine, the AWP for Flying V, now he's positioned on A highway, so they've received that information. We'll see if they decide to go for this A play or what's going to go on here. They do have White Hound near this B site. He's going to be flashing in right now, smoking as well, so he's going to be providing that fake as we do see no one. He was slowly walking back, maybe thinking about changing his position, but good decision by him. They're going to be staying over here, and now 3 CTs are kind of watching over the site. Kusta getting the opening, though, and again, very important pick for them, as no one will get dropped, though, by Razor, as he got boosted up onto that red box. We'll get that bomb plant. Jay, peek in the corner, does take down that bomb planter, as they do have 1 in Squeaky, 1 inside a forklift, and actually no one is checking the bomb, as we do see now Kusta will peek out. That defuse should go through, though, and that's exactly what's going to go on, as Kusta we'll get some crazy Tech 9 frags at the end of it. But the round's going to go to the Flying V. Expensive win, but a win. They needed that round.
Yeah, but again, you just mentioned how expensive that was. That's their first full buy. So look at the buy they're going to have now. They're going to have what Ricky Rath would call the kitchen sink buy. They got an AWP, an M4, an M4A1, and 2 FAMAS. So it's not really ideal because Tempo has won enough rounds that they can afford to full buy again. And even after this, they're going to be able to get a healthy eco with... They could do full armor if they really wanted to. So losing all of those rifles at the end there to the...
Oh, they're working the boost through the window.
Craziness. Oh my goodness.
They brought White Hound down to 22 HP, so that's pretty big. Early on in this
if only he had an M4.
Exactly, that would have made the difference. Jay will get 1. So, and that information, though, that just means that they see that they're prepping this site. So that gives so much information. They haven't rotated completely over, but they at least have Fade. He's on A highway, and then Funshine and Z. They're a pretty close rotate compared to no one playing all the way back in quad in A. But we do see the T's just kind of slowly rotating back over to mid. They realize maybe we should work something else. The jig is kind of up. They knew that we were working maybe near that B site and actually tagging Funshine there. He's going to go down to 35 HP. But as long as Kusta's alive, the dream here, he's almost on 30 frags, 28. And we have 11 rounds technically left in this if it goes the full duration.
Yeah, they're definitely playing an interesting game on the tempo side. They haven't really played mid at all this entire half. It's already in round 5 here in the second half, and they haven't really put a play in mid at all. Razor's going to get a kill there coming into the bomb site. He's traded out quickly. Quicksilver gets one, also gets traded out, making it a 2 versus 3 here. Fade, Funshine, and No One versus Whitehound and Kusta. Kusta does have that AWP, and he's waiting for that man pushing in from vents. That's going to be No One, and if he just waits here patiently, he's got 8 seconds left. They do get the plant off, and unfortunately, his teammate Insight's going to go down. That is Whitehead, or Whitehound, not Whitehead. Kusta is dropped as well by No One. So yeah, a little bit of a slip up there. That was Whitehound.
Dude, don't even worry about it. I called the Volcanium Valium on a cast, so you're doing great, bro. You're doing great. I also called when I was doing the collegiate casting, I called Maryland Maryland for like ever, and people are like, "Dude, you're saying it wrong. You have to say it," and I would type it out. I'd be like, "Yeah, that's Maryland. I don't understand what you're saying." Anyhow, we've all been there, bro. We've all exactly.
Just blame your heritage.
Blame Canada. So we actually see a double op play. Daimo and Funshine both rocking those. So we're going to see here if Daimo, he's going to be working that pick, will miss that shot, and that's Whitehound. He's going to be able to bait out that shot, as they do know now that there is an AWP in this B site. They're choosing to go for it anyhow, though, and that's because they have armor and Tech 9s. 2 kills here as... Wow, actually, they're going to be taking this site. Jay, last one alive, actually, though, and he's going to be able to take down the bomb carry. Last one alive is Whitehound, and Funshine will be able to take away the fun in his sails, as we do see 11-10 is our score line, as the Flying V coming back on that CT side.
There was that play again, the Molly play
like
into
Dynamo,
B.
God, producer.
They saw the ops in B, and they knew that they would fall back into site more than likely. So mollying over into site, burning up that platform, really giving the CTs no other option but to peek, trying to take the advantage, and it did seem to work out initially, but Jay was able to tuck away in the back of sight and stay there long enough to get the kills they needed. Funshine coming in at the last second to get that man that was pushing in with the M4. So it didn't really work out for Tempo, and we do see a nice headshot from Fade. Just completely obliterates.
And who goes
Kusta
down?
in mid.
It's Kusta. Let's see what happens here, because Kusta going down early, that, again, we have to... I can't say enough about how Kusta's really affect this game. 28 frags. That's just massive. And if he goes down early in the match, or rather in the round, that's just so important for the Flying V. As now Quicksilver does have an AWP, but he's going to try and take that shot. Takes a little bit more damage, as Jay, playing from Z, will be able to take him down to 46 here. So not sure what tempo is going to work. They're attempting to work mid here, but it's not working out in their favor.
Yeah, this is the first time they've really put any emphasis on mid, so they might be able to catch Flying V off guard, as Flying V maybe has fallen back a little bit, knowing that Tempo hasn't really been putting too much emphasis there. But this man around the corner is going to have to come up big. That's Fade, and he does not. Whitehound taking him down, and there's one man in A. Coming around the corner, there is Anomaly, not able to take him down. Jay on the flank from Z Connector, spotted out by Whitehound. That's a 2K, and look at this. Tempo is going to opt to grab that bomb and go towards the B bomb site, I believe. They're taking through vents right now. There is a man in the B bomb site. That's Dynamo behind the plant box. Whitehound's going to spot him out, but he is low, down to 12 HP. And Dynamo is going to put some shots out there. Take down Quicksilver and Whitehound. Now it's only one man left standing. That is Razor. The 3-man hold from Dynamo there. I should say the 1 versus 3 hold, not the 3-man hold. Big 3K from him, holding Tempo off yet again. And Tempo's going to be back on the eco round here. That was a nice round there from Flying V. Really starting things out nicely there was Fade with the headshot. Dynamo really cleaning things up, though. But yeah, we talked about it. The performance from Kusta right now, Kusta and Jay both sitting at almost double the next player in their team. Kusta's at 28, Whitehound that round obviously getting quite a few kills, but 17 from him, and then Jay's at 23 with No One at 13. Both of these guys are definitely playing at a high level.
No doubt, and we're going to see a nade sail into A main. That's from No One, as he drops a few players low. This is an eco, but it is an armor Tech 9 buy, as we do see No One gets that first shot. Will get dropped, though, by Whitehound, but that's going to be Fade and Jay coming in. Jay gets a double. Now actually a triple with that crazy jumping shot.
Anomaly was coming in there for the knife, and I guess he just thought, why not?
Why not, right? Why not? We saw the pistol round yesterday on Overpass. I think that was Paradox and Area 51 ending with that chance knife, both of them going for the knife kill. That was probably one of the coolest things I've seen in quite a while on a knife round, or sorry, on a pistol round. But
That round was nutty.
no doubt, no doubt. But we are in round 24 here. 11-12 is the score line, and once again, this is, I feel like you have to work mid as T on this map. If you don't, you just have to have insane executes on the other parts of the map. But even with that, having mid as an open option just provides so many more angles to hit a site. And that's why we're seeing an emphasis here. We have J inside of Vents, and they got Fade from Highway, and then Funshine opping from Z. So they have literally a triple angle on this Anomaly, getting a great shot onto J. Fade firing back, though. And again, mid control still belongs to the Flying V. It looks like it's going to be an A play, and they're going to have Fade. He's going to be rotating back really quick here, and then they're going to have Funshine playing from Truck. And that's exactly what's going to be the case. Dynamo still playing from B site. Kusta, though, opening up the site. And again, can't say how important it is to have an entry fragger like that. Kusta, yeah, just doing work, Dynamo in a 1v4 now, and this looks like it is going to be a save as he's going to grab that AWP and get out of dodge here.
Well, Kusta hit the shot. What really set that up was they threw 2 mollies onto quad, and mollies stack. So if you're sitting inside 2 of them, you're taking double the damage, at least as far as I know, unless I'm horribly, horribly wrong. So that player had to retreat. He had no choice. There's no way you can eat that damage. You will die very quickly. So he runs out from behind quad box, and Kusta just holding that angle with the AWP, able to get the shot. It looks like they knew that was going to happen. It was a very well-designed play from TMP.
Yeah, and tying it back up here, it's 12-12 as that op save is going to be great for the CT lineup. They do have money to buy, but again, anytime you have to invest another $47.50 in an AWP, again, a weapon that only gets you $100 per kill, it really is important to save that weapon. So we do see Dynamo dropping that. That will be to Funshine, as he is that main opera, and he's going to be grabbing his armor. I thought he was running away as a glass cannon. I'm like, no, you need to grab that armor, buddy, as Fade will be heading up mid here very, very quickly. That spam, though, is going to work out well for TMP, as dropping him down to 60 HP there, and that's a heads-up play, as if you know they're working mid quite a bit, you can do some very nifty wallbangs through that garage door.
And so far, I think this is something we don't really talk about that often, is that North American teams are finally putting tons of emphasis on grenades. I love that, because you watch European CS and the teams in Europe are just so nasty at the way they flash each other into sight, the way they smoke, molly, all their pushes, their executions are strong, and a lot of it relies on grenades. Typically in the past, North American CS teams just went in and tried to kill you. There really wasn't as much emphasis put on the grenades. They used them, but not the same way the European players did. I love that teams are coming up with these unique strategies, double mollying spots, forcing a player out, knowing that they're going to have an op peeking right at it. It's definitely exciting to watch, maybe trying to learn from their European brothers.
Whitehound will be able to take down Fade here, and that's going to give mid control to Tempo, something that they haven't been able to utilize very much in this half, but they're going to be dropping into Checker, at least one of them. The bomb actually heading back into mid. So they're opting to actually send a couple players into B, but it doesn't look like it's going to be a take here, as we are going to see Anomaly eventually goes down. Quicksilver fires back, though, and now the bomb has dropped into Checkered, heading towards this B site. The quick rotate, that's going to be Funshine. He's a 1v3, and if he has something to say about this bomb plant before it goes down, that's going to be very important, as to his right, he doesn't really, he's like, where has the bomb been planted? I don't understand, and Funshine going down, and a bit of a misplay there, as I swore that he could. I have X-ray, so obviously I'm like, oh, he's right in front of you, but I feel like he saw his shoulder there, but maybe blending into the box a little bit. I'm not really sure what was going on.
Yeah, I thought he saw him too. I was trying to peek around the X-ray, like try and see, can he see his arm? He could probably see his arm, but without X-ray, it's hard to spot the body out. And I don't think I've ever actually seen anyone plant there. And usually you see them plant in the default spot or behind the box in the back site, maybe out in the open playing it for Checker. That is a spot that I've never seen, because the reality is that's a desperation spot. You plant there because you know that you have to hide, and you can't hold it well because it's in such a poor position. Meanwhile, though, in round number 26, Tempo starting things off nicely on the anti-eco, getting the kill onto Jay, and I believe that was a collateral, taking Dynamo down to 22 as well. with the op shot from Quicksilver. So starting things out nicely here, and they're definitely playing that slow game, not wanting it to get too close to the pistols. The 5.7, plenty of bullets and lots of damage. You can definitely run into that flurry of fire. Still, though, they're just playing their time here. Opening Squeaky Door, just trying to bait players out, keep a man over on A. And that is the 9-man, which is no one there, sitting behind the forklift. The 7-man pushing up from Highway, which is Fade. And they're just slowly creeping around the map. 45 seconds left on the round. There's only one man in B, and that is Dynamo down at 22 HP. He's going to have to come up huge here. Anomaly coming around this corner in mid is going to get dropped. A nice kill there from Funshine, maybe opening things up a little bit here as he's going to be able to come in through the vents here and potentially catch these T's off guard. Dynamo gets two. Dynamo, you animal. Getting 2 headshots there. Whitehound and Quicksilver dropped. Razor and Kusta now in a 2 versus 3. And there's a gun on Funshine who's just sitting in pick, waiting for Razor to peek. And he could very well be a huge piece in this round. Time is ticking away here, and there is not a kit on the CT squad. Kusta, you beast, coming up with 2 shots there. No one, and Fade down. Razor holding the angle, taking down Funshine. Kusta is a freak of nature, getting 2 shots there that he probably should not have hit. Taking tempo to the very much needed 14-12 scoreline here on Cash. And they definitely want to win this one, as this was the Flying V's map pick.
Yeah, exactly. This would be huge for their confidence. If they can win this one, they're going into Overpass, where, again, they're going to be starting on that T side because they picked that map. So the Flying V, not completely out of this. They're going to be on a very CT-sided map, but if they go into that with not a lot of momentum, the thing is, if Tempo can grab a few rounds early on and make it, again, it's like a nuke map. If you can get those rounds early on, and maybe eventually the Flying V kind of gets their grasp on things once again, but if they can make that happen, that would be massive for Tempo, and they might even be able to 2-0 this, as we do see Funshine. He's going to put a stop to Kusta, and again, that is the legend that you want to put down if you're going to get an op frag early in the round. But Anomaly, getting that spam through the door, that was actually onto a player on a highway playing from Toxic. But we are going to see an A-side play here, and again, Funshine is going to be the key one to watch, as he's playing from sight, kind of by quad, and does look like, though, the T's opting to switch back. They realize Funshine playing this site, they have an AWP over here, they want to try something else.
An Anomaly here sitting in Squeaky Door, going to try and keep these CTs over on the site as long as possible, possibly toss some nades. He's got full up here, nades and flashes and a smoke. So he's going to be able to try and hold them off, make them think that it's going to be an A take. We do see them opting for some mid control here as the 3 other T's are pushing out here. There's a man around the big box in mid. That is Fade, and he's going to get taken down. Funshine sitting on quad box gets the first one, though. That's Whitehound down. Anomaly responds with a kill onto no one. It's a 3 versus 3 here in round number 27. Dynamo, a nice off shot from him, but Anomaly trading out there, taking down Funshine, making it a 2 versus 2. Bomb is going to be planted in the A-bomb site with about 5 or 6 seconds left on the clock. And it's all onto the retake here. Dynamo and Jay, the top fragger for the CT squad, is down here. Tempo Gaming getting the shot there by the op of Quicksilver, and now it's a 1 versus 2. Dynamo stuck in a really tough position. Comes around the corner, and a nice shot from Quicksilver, taking it now to 15-12 in favor of Tempo. And that was a very big round, because now they are facing the eco round. It's going to be a force buy, obviously, from Flying V, but that was a huge round for Tempo, and possibly sealing the deal on the first map.
Yeah, and I'd like to give props to Anomaly, where Funshine knew 110% that Anomaly was coming from Squeaky Door. Anomaly played that crouch peek to a T. He just peeked out, crouched immediately, and that forced Funshine to miss his shot. He tried to go for the chest, and, well, a little bit higher, obviously, as the crouch worked out very, very well. But we're going to see a B-side take here, and it's not working out, as we're going to have the Flying V. They are taking these players down. Anomaly finally getting that refrag, but 3v1 and no HP on Anomaly. Fade didn't even have a weapon out there, and eventually he will get that frag, and now the Flying V, 15-13. They want to put a stop to this, as they want to bring it to overtime. This was their map pick, and they want to show us why.
Wow. I thought that was basically just going to be kind of a blender round there. I thought Flying V would just get mowed down, but Tempo did what they shouldn't have done. They got aggressive. We talked about it all game.
Exactly.
On the anti-ecos, every team has played very slow T-side. That round, I guess they thought, Flying V's demoralized. We got this in the bag. Let's go, boys. And they went for that heavy push. Did not pay off at all. They're going to be able to buy here. But look at Kusta, no armor, he's got the glass cannon in hand. Whitehound dropped to 48 early in the round, so another nice start here for Flying V, and if they win this round, they're facing the eco of tempo. So all of a sudden it's looking like overtime is guaranteed.
Yeah, they're going to be feeling really good about that, and I think this is something that we touched on last night a little bit, is closing games. Teams will get to this 14-15 mark, and they don't close. They just don't. They've been doing things correctly the whole time to get to that scoreline, and then they change on those last rounds. And it's just a mentality that you'll see the strongest teams. They're the teams that are able to close. And this is where, if the Flying V can bring this back to overtime, I see Tempo being demoralized because they had this in their grasp. That one round, they are going to be feeling pretty crummy about that. But we'll see if they can take this round and put this game to a close, 15-13. Only 35 seconds left here. And it is going to be an A-side play, as we do see Funshine getting dropped down to 57 HP. Now 50 HP is working that wallbang. That's going to be Anomaly. Fade gets a shot onto Kusta. Again, very important frag as their top fragger goes down here. No one getting two. Finally gets traded upon. 3v2 as Anomaly will be able to get the bomb down, but does it matter at this point? That's going to be money in the bank for the next one, but drop to 11 HP. He's going to peek around. Fade puts him away, though, and that is going to be another round for the Flying V. 15-14. Are we going to see some overtime or what?
Yeah, I think we are. You know, they're going to go for a buy here, obviously. There's no reason for them not to, but what can they even afford?
Yeah, imagine if they didn't get that bomb plan.
Yeah, if they didn't get that bomb plant, they'd be completely screwed. They'd have to go for pistol armor. They'd have no choice. Instead, they have a couple players that can pick up Galil armor, maybe try and get the win here, but I think we might be seeing overtime, and these teams are really... they're really showing up here. If they're going to go to overtime on the first map, they're definitely saying that this is going to be a very close best of 3.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And we actually see a couple players opting for the Tech 9s just so they can get the full nade set. So that's Quicksilver, and surprisingly, to be honest with you, I would have liked to see maybe a gun on Kusta here, although most of his frags from that AWP, I guess maybe feels a little confident as Tech 9 being his secondary whenever he's rocking that gun. But I think that you want to put the better rifles in the top fraggers. They're the one hitting the shots right now. So I don't know if that's, again, they know a little bit more about their playstyle than I do. But regardless, it will be an A-side play here. 3 players from main. And it's going to be Anomaly coming from Squeaky. The bomb opting now to head back into main as well. But the rotate already underway for the Flying V.
And here we see Flying V is going to get the first kill. No one takes down Razor. Anomaly going to trade him out, but Fade gets 2, gets 3. That's Anomaly, Quicksilver, and Whitehound down. It's all on Kusta, the top fragger who's been showing up round and round out in a 1 versus 3. 24 HP and a Galil in hand, not able to do it. Jay taking him down, and we are seeing overtime here on map number 1. So I hope you got some rest today, Sprawll, because we were up late last night casting, and we're already getting overtime on the very first map.
Yeah, I know, right? No, this is amazing. I love to see this, especially map 1. We are getting some quality entertainment here as these teams clearly very close on skill level. Again, Kusta may be carrying his team a little bit, but the frags are definitely evening out here. Razor, the only one, he's got 10, 5, and 21, so maybe needs to step it up slightly. But if we look on the other team, Funshine, he's the lowest one, but definitely one of those impact fraggers. He's got some very nice shots with that AWP so far, and even getting some clutch rounds, 1v1s, that 1v1 between him and Kusta on, I believe that was Kusta, right? Yeah, Kusta versus Funshine, where he was from A main, and ended up clutching that round. So definitely, it's going to be interesting to see how this overtime goes, as we are going to see how this overtime works, obviously, as you start on the side that you just finished on. So we're going to see Funshine and his crew, the Flying V, they're on CT's side, and if they can make a dent in tempo, in that just kind of take away the momentum, getting 3 in a row and switching over to T, we could be seeing, especially the way we saw Flying V on T side, I feel like the rounds where they really needed to make it happen, they did. They executed very, very well, and we'll see if they can do it once again as we are live in our overtime.
There is a lot of weight on the shoulders of Tempo right now. They really want to get this first round. It gives them a little bit of a relief, because they know they can't drop 3. You can never drop 3. For those of you that don't know, the way that overtime works is it's 3 rounds and you switch at half. So you play 3 rounds on each side. So if you lose the first 3, it's all down to that one first round. It only takes 1 round for the other team to win. You have to win out. So you really want to get the first round on the side with the disadvantage, which in this case would be the T side. So if Tempo wins this first round, they're definitely going to be feeling a little bit better, and Flying V might be a little bit upset with themselves because they're very confident in their ability on this map. That's why they picked it. So I'm kind of antsy now watching this. Like I want to know what's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. And one thing to note is we have quite a few, we have 3 AWPs on the field, and there's no real way, like you, generally speaking, if you buy rifles all 3 rounds, even if you lose all 3, generally speaking, you can pick up, you can be not fully equipped, but you can have all the equipment that, generally speaking, just like a rifle, that kind of thing. With the AWP, though, that's a whole different story. You can be hitting that 3rd round, you could be broke as heck, as we do see Fade taking down one White Hound, will be able to fire back, though, and that's going to be White Hound going down to Funshine as they try and take this A site. It is a split, as Funshine will be dropped by Quicksilver. No one taking down one, but that's going to be now a 2v2 as the bomb actually dropped in a bit of an awkward spot here. But Jay not peeking out. He is not going to utilize this as Kusta hitting that shot. Oh my goodness, now Dynamo in a 1v2 as heading towards A main. Kusta already lined up this shot and slowly peeking over. He misses the shot though. And now a 1v1 situation that Tempo should never have been in. And now Dynamo slowly coming up from Forklift. Again, AWP in hand, will be dropping his rifle, or his AWP for a rifle. And actually Dynamo, he's playing this to the T, just playing ring around the rosy, basically. You can hear where he is. He's going to tap the bomb, but is now off of it, looking the wrong direction. Will be able to get the frag. Are you kidding me?
Oh my god.
What a shot. And Dynamo, he's going to get the defuse. And now he's going to find that AWP. Oh my god. What a shot by Dynamo. I thought he had him dead to rights. He was looking the other direction. He flicks around and gets the headshot. Flying V up 1 round in this overtime.
I thought for sure that that round was going to Tempo. The way that Anomaly was playing that was textbook.
It was perfect.
He baited Dynamo into the site and just played ring around the rosy there. Dynamo had no choice but to just try and stick the bomb. He was running low on time, and somehow he gets the 180 shot. I don't know who he had to offer his soul up to hit that, but I want to find out so I can do it myself.
Yeah, that's just absolutely insane play there. And the Flying V going to be feeling great. Tempo, they're not going to be feeling so hot because that was their guaranteed T round. They needed that. Now only 2 left here, and the Flying V, they're going to be feeling great. They came into that round, and that retake even 1v2. If Kusta doesn't peek there, and again, Kusta should have landed that shot. He crouch peeked it, and he missed the shot with her. So regardless, he should have hit it, but they should have been playing a crossfire. Inevitably, you're in a 1v2, you need to play a crossfire so you can get that trade, and it didn't happen. It didn't happen, and that's going to be the round 4 Flying V, as we are now 45 seconds left in round number 2 of overtime, and yet to take anything. Anomaly actually getting dropped there as he pushes into A site. Jay will be able to get one, but traded upon immediately as they are going to be dropping into checker. Dynamo has his work cut out for him. 1v3 as they're pushing into site, playing this back box, and he is not going to get a single person, and that was an opportunity of a lifetime. He needed to at least get 1 frag there.
Yeah, going back to the last round, I think that Kusta went to hit that shot and shot before he dragged his crosshair down. So it was like almost like he went for the flick so fast that it shot before it actually registered the fact that he had moved his crosshair. So unfortunately, yeah, maybe they should have played the crossfire, but we do see the retake coming in here. That's Funshine hitting the shot leading in. No one's going to get dropped by Whitehound. It's a 1 versus 2. Funshine with the op, trying to hit the shot, not able to find it. A much needed round there for Tempo Gaming. Whitehound with the 2K there, holding it off. Very nicely played. And Tempo at this point looking pretty good for the first half on this overtime. But if they can get this round, they will be more than happy. Go up with a 1-round advantage on the I guess you could say less than advantageous. I was going to say disadvantageous, but that's not really a word. They're on the side with the disadvantage. So going up with a 1-round lead is definitely huge. Yeah, I couldn't find the words. Rewind, please.
Done that. No worries, my friend, as we are going to see no one actually getting very peaky and aggressive, and actually catches Anomaly with a grenade out, and that's a huge pick early in this round. 1:20 still on the clock, and now 4 T's alive, and Quicksilver's going to try and find that spam through the smoke. Actually almost hit someone in Fade and no one, but isn't going to be the case, as now retreating from A main here are the 3 Terrorists. They have the bomb down just a little bit to their backside, and Whitehound still playing towards that B site. So that early pick, very, very important, and we can see here, not a heck of a lot of money on that CT side. They have 3 FAMAS on the board. They have 2 M4s, no AWP at all. And they still have Kusta equipped with an AWP on their side. So he's actually playing from Squeaky right now with his buddy Razor. And they're actually stomping around in a way that no one is hearing exactly that. Fade, he's playing from the balcony. He's preparing this flash as they suspect that it is going to be an A-side take here. And they would be correct in suspecting so. Whitehound will be making some noise over at that B-side. Fade taking down Razor, taking down Kusta as well. And now the bomb all alone will go down on Quicksilver. Whitehound in a 1v5 has to go for it as this is the last round of the first half of overtime. Will come in and Fade drops him immediately. 2 rounds on the CT side. That is not... They probably wanted 3, obviously, but they're still going to be doing all right as we did see a pretty impressive T side from the Flying V.
Yeah, they started off really strong on the T side in the first half, obviously, going up 5 rounds, but Tempo found a good pace in the second half of the first half. They really picked things up, ending up closing out 8-7 with a slight lead. But because it was so close, it's really hard to say what's going to happen in a 3-round span because so many things can occur. You kind of put a lot of money on the first round. If they can win the first round here, and that is the Flying V, they're going to be looking very good to take this. They'll be at that 2-round advantage, only needing, I believe, what? They need to hit 20, correct?
19.
19. What am I talking about?
Smart.
Math is hard. I don't understand numbers.
Quite all right.
So if they hit 18, I thought that's what it was. If they hit 18, they're sitting on map point here for the first map, and they definitely want to close this one out as this was their selection. And you do see the AWP buy from Kusta, the AWP on Funshine. Those guns will definitely be a big factor because even if they don't get a kill, keeping them alive is huge for the team's economy. But if they die, we talked about it in the first half of this overtime, that can cripple your economy by the 3rd and final round in the overtime.
Yeah, and Kusta pushed up and checkered here. This is going to be a very important play here, and he does get the pick on the Fade. And now a man advantage for Tempo, and I was wondering what they were going to go for, the Flying V. Kusta hitting another shot, and this is looking a little bit like Flying V doesn't really know what they want to do. They had a couple players near back of B. Other players just kind of working the rest of the map, but again, nothing really working out for them here as Kusta just got aggressive from Checkered and they just ran straight into his crosshair. Another player tried to jump into Checkered from back of B main and dropped as well. So Kusta, he is now 2 frags away from 40 in this first map. So just insane play by him so far. We do see Funshine picking with that AWP inside of A main, hoping that someone gets aggressive and peeks out. We do see Razor from quad box. If he takes a right strafe at all, that is going to be Funshine with that beautiful shot. But that smoke is going to small. Spell, just huge amounts of trouble for the Flying V. They have 30 seconds left on the clock, forced to execute on this A site. But Quicksilver from Forklift, Razor from Quad, and we'll be able to get 1. That's no one taking down Quicksilver. Dynamo will be able to trade back as well. As now 2 players left, Funshine and Dynamo, but 11 and 12 HP, 3 fully, well, Whitehound down to 72, but otherwise fully HP CT players. But that is going to be the round for Tempo, and they're going to be tying this up 17-17 here.
I'm starting to wonder if we're going to see 2 overtimes in our first map here.
I know, right?
These teams are so evenly matched on this map. It's kind of crazy. The rounds that they do win, they come off of mistakes. It's not someone necessarily overplaying somebody else or outplaying for that matter. It's mistakes being made on the half of the CTs or the Ts that ultimately results in a win for somebody else. So these teams are so evenly matched that the only way they can beat each other is when somebody drops the ball. We're going to see a Scar 20 buy here on Anomaly, putting a lot of money into this round. That is a huge buy. And you can see he's sitting at 2,800 still, so he has more money than Razor. Razor having a bit of a tough game, sitting at 11 and 25, so it's not a surprise that he's the one with the low money on the Tempo Totem Bowl.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, Anomaly tried to get a pick on the Fade there, gave away that he does have a Scar 20 in hand. Kusta, though, once again getting the picks early on, and that's so important. That was Fade going down, had taken a little bit of damage from the grenade of Anomaly, but Kusta will be able to finish that off. He's playing from Z here. It does look like we are going to have a B-side play as we have Funshine, no one, and actually the bomb's still in mid-main, and Dynamo with him over near the A main side, but I think they're going to be smoking off, just making this wall of smoke so they can utilize the vents, maybe drop into Checkered as the other players behind in B main.
Yeah, we do have some people asking in chat, so I just want to clarify. If this goes to 18-18, there will be a second overtime. We will play until we have a winner for the first map, and that's a little bit of a scary thought. Nonetheless, though, we do see a B take coming here. Jay is going to get an intro kill on Kusta, but Whitehound with the molly, able to trade him out with the help of Quicksilver. I believe Quicksilver daked him, took him down low. Dynamo gets a kill on to Quicksilver over by the generator. Whitehound's going to trade him out. It's now a 2 versus 3 here. Anomaly, Whitehound, and Razor. Whitehound taking down one more. That is no one. Funshine finally stopping his rampage with the AWP. That was a 3K for Whitehound, and a big one at that. 5 seconds left here, and Funshine's going to have to go for the plane. He's going to have to whip up that off quickly, and he cannot find the shot on Anomaly, who just rushes in with the Scar 20, and that's going to be map point here for Tempo Gaming. One more round on the board for them, and they have it in the bag.
Yeah, now this is the last round here. If Tempo can take this one, and they are well equipped to do so, they are going to be winning map number 1 in the Flying V. They're playing to go for that second overtime. They pushed it to the first overtime. Can they do it again? As we can see, they don't have enough here for an AWP. It's going to be 5 players with AK-47s, and quite honestly, I'd love to see them do a B-side play where they utilize those mollies like they did in that one round where Quicksilver literally, I think it was Quicksilver who died just literally immediately, purely because he was blind standing in fire. I think that they need to utilize that kind of play, and I think it might actually be what's going on here. As we do see Fade and Dynamo, they're both over near Sunroom. And that would be the positioning you need to have to throw those mollies into sight. So I think we are going to see that kind of execute here. Jay's boosted up. Inevitably, he's going to go over and probably go through the vents. And currently, we have Whitehound and Quicksilver playing from sight.
Yeah, and Kusta being in the A-bomb site, if they decide to take B, that's going to be huge, because Kusta has obviously been the man of the match. 39 kills for Tempo Gaming. So him being in the other site, definitely not going to help them out at all. Anomaly in mid with the Scar 20. It's a 2-man hold here, and they are going to execute
actually
now
only
as they
one
push out.
Quicksilver went on the other side of the
smoke.
smoke.
Down. Anomaly from Heaven is able to take down No One, who got the entry frag onto Whitehound, but these players are lit pretty heavily. Fade down to 39, Funshine at 18, and here comes the retake here. Quicksilver pushing out of Heaven, kind of a little bit, trying to get into a duel with Funshine, who's hiding behind Pipe Box. There's a man going towards Vents. That was Anomaly. He's going to get taken down by Jay.
Wow.
Jay gets another one. That's Razor. What is happening here? All falling apart for Tempo here. So it's now a 4 versus 2, and Kusa's going to have to come up big. Missing the shot. Jay takes down one more before Fade comes in and polishes off Kusa. So double overtime, ladies and gentlemen. We are about to see that happen.
Tempo had no idea what was going on in that round. Literally, they took B site. Kusta still thought it was A. He rotated after they had taken B site. He rotated to truck. He stayed there forever. The only reason they got those rotating frags, and I think that was Jay that was pushed up mid, was purely because they thought that was a fake. They totally thought that was a fake, and it was not. As Flying V took that site in style, and now we are on our second overtime. So we'll see if any difference is made in that the Flying V took that last round. They're on the T side. If they can put 2 on the board on their T side, I think they're going to be looking really good moving into the second half of the second overtime. But
I wish we had someone like a stat boy taking record of the stats to see how many rounds Flying V has won when they pushed the site that Kusta wasn't holding.
Right, no doubt.
Because
right?
every time he's been in the site they go to, I feel like he shuts it down. That round, not playing in B, they get the round. So I'm kind of curious about whether or not that's playing a factor. I do believe our producer's computer just pooped the bed a little bit here. He's restarting his CS, so you guys are missing out on the pistol round. We will try, or not the pistol, the first round in OT2. We will try our best to keep things going.
And we are going to see Funshine gonna take down Kusta, as Kusta tried to peek A main, a crouch shot, and didn't make it happen. So getting that pick onto Kusta, Dynamo getting one as well, Jay getting one on Anomaly as he tries to push through. And now Quicksilver has his work cut out for him. Will be able to take down Dynamo, peeks the other corner, Fade puts him down now, and Razor now 1v4. If Flying V can take this first round on T side, that is going to be so much momentum for them. And again, taking down Kusta seems to make Tempo just they lose their organization. They just decided to push everywhere as soon as Kusta went down, and clearly it didn't work out in their favor. Now Razor, again in a 1v4, is going to try to go for this, but at this point, it is overtime, but you might, if he saves here, maybe he can utilize the money and try and maybe drop for someone else, maybe an AWP for Kusta or something like that. I'm not 100% sure if he's going to have the money for that scenario if he does save, but he is going to hear Jay on the other side of Z here. Jay now moving up highway, and Razor could do some economic damage to the Flying V, but at this point, as long as Funshine stays alive with that AWP, they are sitting pretty.
Oh my goodness, multiple players from the T side are lit. 6 HP on Fade, 28 on Jay. If he just peeked, he might have been able to take one. I think he was just trying to get a kill, and then he was going to fall out. I don't think he was going to plan on taking that.
He does have 5,500, so I think he's going to be dropping... Actually, no, Quicksilver dropped the op. Interesting. So he's just going to get a full nade set here. So I thought he would be the one to do that, but regardless, we are in round number 2 of overtime. Flying V getting that first round.
I think the idea behind Razor saving here is that if he dies in this round, he might be able to pick up an AWP and drop it for Kusta next round. So they'd be able to get the AWP on Kusta every single round. And you see why they want it. Kusta with the 2K here, taking down Dynamo and Jay from checkerboard. Bomb not spotted, though. Bomb is back towards mid, and there's a man in A garage and another man pushing towards there as well. So we might see an A take now, and there's only one man over on A, but Kusta is rotating quickly. Funshine getting the entry frag, taken down Razor, traded out quickly by Quicksilver. And here's Kusta again. He's just all over this map. Every time there's a play he makes, he gets those 2 kills, he falls off immediately and starts running back towards the other bomb site the minute he realizes that nothing is happening there. So here comes the 2 versus 4 take here from Flying V, and Kusta hits a wonderful headshot onto Fade, and you can hear the in-game voice comms from Flying V. They're not even complaining. They're just complimenting his play. They're talking about how good Kusta is.
He is honestly, again, yeah, whatever site they put him on, if he is at the site where they don't initially hit, like there, you saw they pushed to like back of B main there, and he was able to utilize those picks from checkered. He tried to do the same thing from A main, but Funshine was there to end his fun in that first round of OT number 2. So we'll see. He is going to be playing mid here from Z. So we'll see if he can get anything done, as they are going to be flashing their way out, and it looks like no one will peek, and he goes down. So again, Kusta making all the difference. 43 frags in this match and just looking absolutely devastating, as Anomaly will be able to peek from vents, takes down Fade, and they do have map control, at least a little bit in mid control for the T's. Popping into the vents here is going to be Jay. Almost saw Anomaly jumping out of there, probably would have got a free kill from it, but isn't going to be the case, as they are going to be heading over towards that B site. Only 3 terrorists alive, though.
And we talked about it before we got started in overtime. The rounds that these players have been taking have been when the other team makes a mistake. We do see Jay getting 1, that's Whitehound down, trying to even things up here, making it a 4 versus 3. But the first round that Flying V won in this half was because Tempo Gaming played the most bizarre round I've ever seen, and ultimately everything just fell apart. Now that Tempo is playing the normal, relaxed pace that they like to play, things are going their way, and it looks like they're gonna possibly take the advantage here. It's a 3 versus 4. Funshine though, hitting a huge shot onto Kusta, and that's gonna make it a 3 versus 3. Bomb getting planted here in the B bomb site. All CTs are here, but Anomaly sitting at CT cross and 2 in upper. Not exactly ideal. Quicksilver tosses out a molly, but that was actually, I believe, Razor with the molly. Anomaly pushing in, Quicksilver with the M4 coming in from upper with Razor, and they do end up getting that retake. So a nice play there from Tempo, taking it 2019 here in the first half of overtime number 2. But yeah, the first round in that half, they probably could have gone up 3-0 if they had not played so aggressive.
Yeah, no doubt. That first one, they really just need to... Although Kusta, very effective when he gets aggressive and gets those picks, Funshine is equally a threat, and they need to be very careful as to where they put him, because if he takes those 1v1 duels with Funshine, it can go either way, and we saw he actually got taken out there, Kusta, from heaven. He was in an awkward position in that he had flames literally underneath him, tried to get that frag, but I thought when Funshine got that op shot, I thought that was going to be sealing the round for the Flying V, but... Tempo Gaming able to retake that 20-19 here in OT number 2. And Tempo, they're going to want to close this out. But again, Flying V, they had a pretty decent CT half as well. Obviously, there's a reason we're in this OT number 2. Both teams pretty solid on both sides of the map. So I think that this comes down to, once again, Kusta getting those entry frags and making it happen on that T side.
Yeah, and look at the separation of kills for the players on Flying V. Seems like a much more evenly matched team, player for player. You have Funshine, who's been hitting some really good shots, and no one sitting a little bit lower on the spectrum with Dynamo, Fade, and MJ. But the separation is really not that big for the players on Flying V.
Kusta, like I just watched him in that warm-up, he just got 3 one-taps, just like the most disgusting stutter step and shoot, just like one-taps, just insane. So he is on the ball. If they can keep just putting him in those key positions to get those early frags, again, now that they're on the T side, they're actually not getting him with an AWP? Interesting. So they're going to be going 5 AKs where they have 2 ops on the CT side here. So they're actually heading over to this A site. It does look like it's probably going to be a quick A split, and then they wanted all rifles for it, but we'll see if this works out. I think Kusta, though, very, very effective with that AWP, but I was just complimenting him on his one-taps on that warm-up, so I have no idea. We'll see if this works out, but it is going to be this A side play as only one player here and no one playing on in the A site for the CTs.
At this point, I think they could buy Kusta an M249 and he would get a 3K. When the shots are hitting. Give the man a can of tuna fish, he might even get a kill. I don't even know how it's happening. So far, he's been very strong, and we do see the A take here as Tempo is going to push out and flood that site. Fade, though, shutting things down with no one. 3 down already. Razor, Whitehound, and Anomaly. Tempo's going to respond quickly, though. Kusta taking down no one. Quicksilver drops Fade. Jay hits the shot onto Quicksilver. Kusta, another kill for him, making it a 1 versus 2, and this is the man you want in this position here. 45 seconds left on the round. More than enough time here to take these duels on and potentially make it a 1 versus 1. He's going to try and get that bomb plant just on the edge of that molly. And he's going to bait it out here, hoping that Funshine will push up from Highway. Meanwhile, the Dynamo is in a really bad position here. If he peeks this spot, and he does spot him out but doesn't hit the shot, Kusta saw his leg but fell back just as they saw each other. If he had gotten that kill, that would have made it a 1 versus 1 and a very winnable situation. More than enough time on the clock. Instead, the first round goes to Flying V here in the second half of the second overtime. This is just map number 1. This is crazy.
Yeah, this has been a hell of a map so far, 20-20, as we have 2 more rounds in this overtime, and we'll see what's going to happen as now Kusta will be utilizing that AWP. They're going to be putting him over near mid, maybe get boosted, but no, he's actually just playing kind of passive near near mid main, now going over to the back of B site. But for the CTs, they have 2 actually. Dynamo is going to be boosting. That's going to be Jay. That's going to be Jay up in vents here. As just playing slow are the T's. They're just trying to work a pick. And again, when you have a player like Kusta, he's positioned right now in the sunroom. Dynamo gets a shot onto Whitehound, and I believe that was either right through the edge of the smoke or actually through the smoke. Kusta, though, what a shot Dynamo is getting. Yeah, he's hitting his shots right now, and that's perfect for the Flying V as B now on lockdown. 3 T's left on the field, 2 in mid-main, and 1 in Anomaly from Squeaky.
Something that we should notice is if you look at the graphs, Kusta was a force to be reckoned with during the regular match time, but he's sort of tapering off a little bit. He's not really operating at the same pace. We're going to see Dynamo get 1 more. Fade taking down Anomaly, and Jay finishing off the last man. That was Quicksilver. But Kusta is sort of leveling it out. He's still hitting plenty of great shots, but he's not really doing what he had been doing prior to overtime.
Yeah, exactly. And if he can kind of wake up here again, 45 frags is insane. Absolutely insane. But regardless, we're going to see a little bit of lag on GoTV, I believe, as they're going to be stuttering out of their spawns here. But regardless, we are in the last round of overtime for overtime 2. My GoTV actually glitched out. It says it's overtime 1. That is not the case. As Funshine, he's going to hit that shot just through the corner. That smoke gets another one. Fade as well. And they have mid on lock here as Anomaly. 1v5 to try and stop this from going Flying V's direction. And oh boy, does he have his work cut out for him. Takes down Fade, but that grenade is going to send him flying. And the Flying V finally close out their map pick.
Wow. What a round to end that with. After seeing multiple rounds go very close down to 1 versus 2 situations, 2v2s, the round ends with just sheer obliteration. Flying V just completely annihilating Tempo in mid. The last man standing Anomaly just eating bullet after bullet and nade after nade. So Flying V finally closes things out on the first map. That's going to take us to map number 2, which is Overpass, and we are going to take a slight break here as we wait for these players to ready up. But just a reminder, we do have a giveaway on Twitter right now, compliments of yours truly. We are giving away a Wasteland Rebel AK. All you have to do is head on over to our Twitter, it's at GoRGNTV, and my Twitter as well, at Bach_TV. Hit that follow button and retweet out, and we will be doing the giveaway at the end of this match. So that is a Wasteland Rebel AK giveaway on Twitter. So head on over there and hit those retweet buttons, boys. We will be right back.
All right, we are back. Map number 2 after that super exciting map number 1 eventually going the way of the Flying V. So this is Tempo's map pick. So they picked a map that now, the second one, they lost that first map. now they're on T side on one of the most difficult T sided or maps that you would be on the T side. Anyhow, regardless, I am Sprawll, by my side is Bach, and we are more than excited to bring you map number 2 of this best of 3 in the RGN New Year's Open. So I hope you guys are buckled up and ready to go. And we are live here as we're going to see the bomb getting dropped out long. Fade getting a beautiful shot there. Eventually we'll get traded back though. And this is a 4-on-4 situation.
Yeah, this map is going to turn out, it's really a matter of, is TMP catching Flying V off guard or not? Does Flying V know how to play this map? And it looks like they do right now, as the hold on A site is working out great. Jay behind Big Boss and Man behind Truck. All these players on the T side getting lit up. No one gets a kill. Jay gets another. Last man standing was Kusa, who took down no one with a nice little shot from that USP before being traded out. But wow, very interesting pistol round. Not quite as interesting as the one we saw last night that ended in the chance knife leaping
Someone
around the
died
box.
by fire, and then there's a chance knife, and then just that round had everything. It just had absolutely everything.
I really think that maybe Tempo Gaming is trying to catch Flying V off guard. Maybe they think that Flying V is not necessarily prepared to play Overpass, which the truth is not many teams are. A lot of teams don't really like to practice the map. So if Tempo has got a little bit of practice in the map and they can feel confident enough to get maybe 5 or 6 rounds T-side, then they could probably take this and we would be seeing map number 3. On the other side, if Flying V knows this map, we could very well see 12-3 in the first half, and then it's just all downhill from there. And
yeah, it looks
wow.
like it's going to be a bit of a spray down here as now Whitehound finally firing back is going to be peeking from front sight. The bomb is down, and one thing that we did see a heck of a lot in that map yesterday on Overpass was the bomb flying everywhere. Every T-side team wants to try and plant front sight. Wow, Whitehound gets another one onto Fade, and this is actually really expensive here. It started off as just basically a mowdown as they tried to enter into sight, but now maybe the Flying V, they're getting a little bit too aggressive. They have the bomb down. They don't really need to peek, and what they did was peek, and that's Whitehound paying, or rather making them pay for it. He's down to 9 HP himself, and they're just working away the clock here. But again, the bomb physics is what I was getting at there. You can see, I don't think, let's see, he tried to plant it right in front of green box. The bomb is now down at the back of green box. So that's actually very, very difficult to pick up and get the bomb down, especially with the crossfire that we're seeing here. But yeah, hopefully we don't see a heck of a lot of that, because quite honestly, it's very frustrating as a T-side player to see, oh, well, we tried to plant the bomb, and now it's down about 20 feet away from where we tried to plant it.
Yeah, this is something we talked about last night when we watched Overpass played. It seemed like every time the player tries to plant the bomb in front of the green box in sight, it bounces in the most ridiculous fashion. I think it has something to do with these railroad tracks or the trolley tracks that cut through. I think that the bomb hits those and it doesn't really know how to react, and it just sort of flings away into the distance. I don't know, but I hope that Valve fixes it, because we've seen it now probably 5 or 6 times on this map in the 2 games that we've casted so far.
Yeah, exactly. That's a high number for how many times that we've been casting this, at least recently anyhow, as we are going to see a B-side play from Tempo. They're going to try and storm into the canal and see if they can get any damage done, as that's going to be Jay throwing that nade, almost getting caught off guard by it, but eventually they're going to get the full spray down. That first round a little bit close, this third one, or rather the second round, that first anti-eco, a little bit close. That one, not at all.
Yeah, I actually had a really interesting angle there when I was watching that. I was just sort of zipping around in third person watching the push, but that was a very impressive anti-eco there from Flying V, exactly what they needed, and that really hurts Tempo. People don't realize like how much value you can place on a bomb plant in the eco round. I don't think they've gotten one bomb plant yet, so that is not going to help. You see Kusta picking up the op, but no full armor here. A lot of nades, but not what they really need. Only single flash on Kusta, flash and smoke, flash smoke. Basically, they weren't able to really full buy up, so that could very much affect the outcome of this round, and it's a round that TMP cannot afford to lose.
Yeah, we'll see if they can make something happen here, as they've kind of fallen back towards Playground. And one bit of information I just wanted to share. Apparently, and someone's educating me on the physics, thanks to TSL here, one of my high-level buddies. So anyhow, regardless, if you plant facing backwards, like towards your team in that A site, it's actually going to fly the way that you look. Apparently, that's the way the physics work. So every time we've seen someone try to plant in front of sight like that, they die, they're facing that green box, and it flies in front. It flies forward into the fight into the site further. So just one thing to note there, a little bit of knowledge dropping. But regardless, we are 40 seconds away from the end of this round, and we're going to see if Dynamo actually on the flank here will be able to take out a player in Kusta. And again, if you want to take down a player, that's going to be the one, as AWP is down, and now Dynamo is between the bomb and the site here, so actually now forced to wait out the smoke is the bomb carrier. Only 20 seconds left, and they might just win on time here.
Tempo is playing a pace they can't play on this map. They're taking their time too much, letting the CTs set up, and you can see why it's not paying off. They're getting out.
He's got 8 seconds.
Yeah, he's got less than 10 seconds left, and he's got bomb in hand, but he's going to have to fall back. Hopefully he doesn't get killed here. He is going to be spotted out by this man over on Park. That's Funshine. Funshine does get taken down, though, so that's actually a big kill. If Quicksilver dies there, not only are they losing that AK, but he gets $0. He'd be sitting at $400 with nothing. He wouldn't even be able to really afford a decent pistol. So, yeah, I mean, Tempo definitely outplayed themselves a little bit in that round, maybe waiting a little bit too long, and the CTs can just wait all day, hold the strong angles, and that's basically what happened.
And again, we're going to see another B-side play here, as again, Quicksilver was able to, or rather, I think that was Quicksilver who was the last one alive. Regardless, they've maybe shifted that AK around. Nonetheless, we see them heading into this B site here, and already we're going to see no one taking down Razor. Most of the team for the T's are pretty ill-equipped, as they are going to be able to get the bomb down, and that's actually in a neat location. It's on the kind of hazard barrel side of the B site. So again, you can plant that. The smoke that they utilize, no way for them to see where they're planting there, and Jay will be able to push up here. Only 3 terrorists alive, now down to 2, Quicksilver being one of them with that AK-47, but doesn't make a difference. Whitehound, though, is going to be able to take down Fade, eventually gets spammed down, and that's going to be another round for the Flying V, as they are now up 5-0 on this map. Again, Tempo's pick.
That was a great play from Tempo, getting the bomb plant without killing a single player on the CT team. Ultimately, the kill on the round came late there after the bomb had already ticked away, and it was down to the last man standing, which was Whitehound, taking down Fade, who was in the canal. But I don't think I've seen a team take a site without losing a single player or taking a single player on this map yet, so a bit of an interesting play. But we are going to be seeing a full buy from both teams here for the first time this game. The first buy from Tempo was not really what I would consider full, but they do have nades, full armor, etc. Dynamo's going to get into a duel in the long hallway here, and Whitehound, down to 19 HP, does come up with the kill. So that's going to be the early round advantage for Tempo, something they definitely wanted to get under their belt. Sort of working it towards A, it looks like, taking their pace. Not really sure where the bomb's going to go just yet. They're kind of deciding, it appears, and they are opting to make their way over towards the restrooms. Now, we had fun yesterday trying to come up with unique callouts for that. We'll see if we can do that again, as Funshine gets the kill onto Kusta. Here's a man in bathrooms. That's Fade. Fade gets the first one over by the powder room. Takes down another. That was Razor. And Fade finally dropped by the Lou, by Anomaly. So now a 2 versus 3 here.
Look at Jay, though.
Heavily lit. Jay dropped by Anomaly, and he was coming around the edge of Water Closet there, and he is taken down. So it's now a 2 versus 2. No one and Funshine, but the dreaded A bomb site. Even after the change, this site is very hard to take due to the crossfire setup you can get. Smokes are going to rain out on back, and here comes a smoke for the front of the box. And Funshine hits the shop, but he gets a leg. So it's down to Whitehound and Anomaly right now, both lit 19 and 15. A total of 34 HP between the two of them, and they are holding this exactly how they need to. Not taking the duel here, just letting the bomb tick away. Wisely played from them. Flash is going to rain out, and no one has to get this defuse here. Every round that they can keep from Tempo winning is huge, because this is the most CT-sided map, I'd say, in the rotation currently. Maybe
and he gets
oh my word. Kind of a misplay there from Tempo. I don't know why they peeked that.
He tapped it, and they both peeked. They both looked. What are we watching? That was the round Tempo. Oh, they are going to feel just absolutely unfortunate for them. As the quacks coming out. Oh, geez. The Flying V bringing out the quacks, as we are going to see a little bit of talk and chat here. But regardless, it is round number 7. Flying V getting around that. I don't think they even thought they could get no one, just going for it anyhow, because that's what he needed to do at that point. They have plenty of money, and he's got 12K. You can see it now here, and Anyhow, regardless, they were both very lit on the T side, but getting that spray down on both of them, no one making it happen, and now Tempo, they have yet to pick up a single round on their map pick on the T side. Again, this is close to like a nuke-esque kind of map, so you don't really expect them to get too many, but being that we haven't seen Kusta very much with an AWP, he had one, and that was actually, I believe, who's on the flank there? That was Dynamo, actually, on that first gun round there, where they did have him with that
Look at
AWP.
this boost.
Yeah, they're going to be boosting up inside of the stairs there, and that's actually not a bad play at all. They're going to drop no one down to 32 HP, and coming up from behind, no one. He's going to be hearing something, or Jay getting two as well in the stairwell, and now this round is falling apart for Tempo.
I don't know if you saw that boost. In the corner there's a little spindle, and they actually put a player on top of the spindle and then a player on top of his head, and he was able to peek right over top of the plywood over towards short. And he could also peek the man in water there, but didn't really pay off. They weren't able to get the kill, and ultimately they just got spotted out. And the CT's a nice round there, only losing one, and now it's starting to get out of hand. 7 rounds to 0 here, and I gotta say, the joke that ducks fly together from Mighty Ducks, they are definitely playing a better team side play on CT. It seems like Tempo is a little bit disconnected.
Yeah, exactly, and they've got to be not feeling so hot. Again, 7-0 on your map pick. You knew you had to start on that T side, so you would suspect that they have a little bit more in store, but so far, unfortunately, not a heck of a lot working out for them as Dynamo getting a triple spray down. This is an eco from the T's, and eventually they're going to have Quicksilver dropping him here. But only Kusta and Quicksilver alive. Now Kusta, last one on the field. Funshine getting that AWP shot, and he's going to be trying to smoke off and try and go for this bomb, but that grenade's going to come in, send him down to about 83 HP, now down to 7 via that rifle. Funshine finishes it off with his pistol, and that's going to be 8-0 as Flying V just showing their dominance on the CT side.
I mean, it was an anti-eco on one of the most CT-sided maps in the current rotation, but still, you would expect a team to at least get maybe 1 or 2 frags. Instead, only getting the, they did get the 1, but instead of getting a multiple kill there, or even a bomb plant, I just feel like Tempo doesn't really know what to do, especially in their eco rounds. They seem to be playing strange ecos. If it were me, I'd say, okay, eco round, let's just push B and try and get that bomb down. It worked once before, they didn't even get a kill, so I don't know why they're not opting to do that again. Maybe outthinking themselves a little bit too much here. And right now, Flying V is just taking round after round, duel after duel is going their way.
Yeah, we are going to see still that boost. No one is going to go down to Razor, and that is exactly what Tempo needs here to kind of get a little bit more energy on their side. They're going to get a beautiful pick there, now heading towards this B site. They're going to have Fade from Hazard Barrels, and he's going to fire a couple of shots towards Canal. Nothing really going on quite yet, but that's going to be Fade getting 2 with the fire, and I think they were just standing and he gets the spray down, and eventually Jay goes down, but only 2 Ts left now, making a 2v2 as Razor comes in and shows his worth, down to 12 HP though, and I don't know if we have any. We do have fire. Oh my goodness, that fire was so close, but Razor, he's the last one on the field. If he can get a pick here, it would be very important, as if he could take down Dynamo, Funshine with that AWP, he's gonna get dropped though, as that's gonna be Funshine from the heavens, dropping down death from above, and that's gonna be another round for the Flying V here as Tempo. That was the closest one they've had in a while, but again, not a single point on the board for it.
This hurts to watch. I don't even think that this map is as CT-sided as the community would like you to think that it is. It is very CT-sided, do not get me wrong. I don't think it's necessarily as bad as Nuke unless you come in completely unprepared, which I didn't think that Tempo would, but watching them play, they almost look like they're unprepared. I don't know why they picked Overpass. I really do think now that they were just trying to catch Flying V off guard. Think maybe they're not able to take this, maybe they've been playing a lot recently, I don't know, but definitely not looking like a strong choice here. Maybe the map they wanted just got vetoed. I'm not really sure what's going on. They are going to start things off nicely here. Quicksilver gets the first frag of the round, but Dynamo trades out quickly, takes down Razor and Quicksilver before being dropped by Whitehound, anomaly with a kill on Jay as well, making it a 3 versus 2, the best odds that Tempo has had yet. Funshine with that AWP over on Park, and a man over by E-Box. That's no one, so they're going to get pinched in a little bit here. If no one times as well, he can maybe take down this bomb, or at least just wait for Funshine and get that crossfire going with that AWP. And we do see Funshine kind of setting up shop. Takes down the first man, Anomaly. Caught with his pants down, not really paying attention. Kusta and Whitehound able to take down no one. Boosting up from the E-Box. That Molly and Nade, my goodness. Taking down Whitehound low. And that's going to force Kusta behind the box in back of sight there. It's now down to a 1v1. The two offers for the team facing off. Kusta with an AK this round. And Funshine whipping out the 5-7. Doesn't find the shot. The fake flash coming in with the pistol toss. Not going to trick him, but he does buy enough time there. Tempo finally getting around here in round number 10. And I got to say, it's about time.
No doubt, and Kusta playing that perfectly in that 1v1, just didn't need to peek at all, and even you saw there, yeah, that pistol throw, and he's just running around the truck, eventually goes down, but off guard when he jumped back to truck, but didn't connect on the spray quite enough, so did go down. And Tempo now with their first round, let's see if they can build on that momentum. Obviously there's money for days on Flying V's side. Only Dynamo, he's about the only one that he's down to $200. The rest of them though have a little bit to play with, so they should be able to buy even if they lose this round. But not the same can be said for the Tempo lineup, as they're going to get one getting dropped very early on here. That's going to be Razor going down. Dynamo getting a second one, finally traded out, but did his work, as now a 4v3 situation. Apparently our producer is stuck on a smoke, unfortunately, so we're okay.
That's
now.
A known glitch. Unfortunately,
yeah, exactly.
If you follow a nade, if it's a smoke grenade, you got to wait till it finishes blooming, and then you can pop off of it.
All right, so 50 seconds left here, and again, this is pretty much a must-win round here, as there's not a heck of a lot left. We got about 5 rounds left in this half, and if they drop this round, they should be on an eco for the next. And again, they're going to have to rebuild up that money from the loss bonus, not the position Tempo wants to be in. Again, they are down a map in this best of 3. Flying V was able to take that other map cash in overtime fashion finally. But it does look like we are going to have 3 Ts heading up to the front of A site. They're going to be trying to smoke here, but again, one thing that we noted in the Area 51 Paradox series is that a lot of teams realize that there is this opportunity. Did you see that bomb go flying? Are you kidding me right now? It literally just flew 10 feet backwards. That was insane. And Fade
did it
will
again.
be able to take...
It did it again.
This is ridiculous. And
where did it land that time?
I said that it flies forward. Someone was letting me know that was actually backwards once again. So I have no idea what these physics do. In the first bomb plant, literally it flew back. He was at green box and it flew all the way back to the stairs. So that's insane. And then the second bomb flying all the way over to the bank truck. I just don't understand it all. The physics of the bomb, some crazy stuff right here. Regardless, we have a slight pause here as Kusta, I think he dropped out momentarily, or who?
It was Quicksilver
dropped out.
Kusta said that he got shot so hard his game closed.
Oh man. Yeah. Anyhow, we're about to go live once again here in this round, and oh, actually it is live. Never mind. It's gonna be Quicksilver though. Did he? He has. Okay, he's just going to be glocking. They're just on a full eco here. He opted to not buy a single thing. And the terrorists are going to be heading up mid here, but posted up are the CTs. Fade going down, though. Dynamo was able to get 2, but he goes down as well. So now only Funshine here. They can put him away. That would be huge, but now only Quicksilver left. Needs to get this frag. Now will be able to get the bomb plant, I assume. But Jay on the other side of the fence, no one coming up from bank, and they will be able to even stop that bomb plant. So no money for that. They got 3 frags, but they really need to put rounds on the board. 11-1 is our scoreline.
Yeah, you really think the T's would be a little bit faster at planting the bomb after all these years of punching in the same code over and over again. You think they'd be able to do it a little bit faster. But yeah, he got caught trying to punch that code in. Almost gets the bomb down. Would have been really big for their economy. Still able to buy, though. The loss bonus obviously starting to kick in here as they were able to get 1 and break that up. But what amazes me most about Tempo right now is that they have not put really any plays on B. Almost all of their rounds have gone towards A. I guess because of the changes to the A bomb site, being able to plant in the front of the site, they thought that would work to their advantage, but they're being crossfired left and right. We do see a kill coming in early here. That is Quicksilver taking down Dynamo. He is traded out by Jay, though. Whitehound taking down Jay, so the trade is there, and a trade coming again for Flying V. as no one took down one before being traded out as well. So the trade's really going back and forth here. Tempo finally taking the advantage. That's Anomaly gunning down Fade. Funshine with the AWP and a 1 versus 3, and more than winnable right now. Razor at 38, Kusta at 5, Anomaly at 79. So if he can get the kill onto Anomaly, it's all down to a pistol game, honestly. He could just whip out that 5-7 and gun down the last two standing. With an AWP and the smoke over by Construction, it's going to be a hard retake, and he's going to opt to push through it. So we'll see what he can do here. Razor right on the other side of that smoke. Who's going to spot who first? I think Funshine just saw his gun. He does get the no-scope here. Pistol comes out, but not able to get the kill. Nade's going to rain out. Not able to get him there either. Another kill, though, coming in there as Anomaly is dropped by a wonderful flick of the wrist by Funshine. Both players go down at the end of the round. So even though Flying V lost that round, they really hurt Tempo here. Coming into round number 14, all of their players died for that round. So they're going to have to force buy up a little bit here, Galils, and maybe no nades on some of these players. So a big play from Funshine sort of locking them in rather than falling back, and he's going to be able to buy with more than enough left as he had 11K.
Yeah, round number 14 here, and if Tempo can put another one on the board, they're going to be feeling all right moving into the CT side, as, again, this was their map pick, and I imagine that they're very confident in their CT side. They knew that they had to start on this T side, and it might be a little bit bleak, but they're going to try and get as many rounds as they can. So far, 2, it's not bad, but you definitely need to get a little bit more. So we'll see if they can make it happen here as an Anomaly. He's pushed up near the back of B. The rest of the T's are basically all in the stairwell here. And I imagine they are going to be coming out of Squeaky Door and pushing towards this B site, possibly, as it's going to be Jay and no one here. They're going to be holding on to that site, as actually collecting an insane amount of information right now is the rest of the CT players. So you can see they're pushed out all over mid, all over back of A long there. They're going to be able to rotate now and realize that it is going to be a B-side play.
Yeah, and it's one of the first ones we really seen. The last time they took B, it worked. They got that bomb planted, so they're obviously going to try it again here. And Jay's going to get dropped early over by Toxic Barrels. There's a man in pit and a man at CT cross by Plywood. That's Funshine sitting with that AWP. No one in pit, though, is able to get one before being traded out by Whitehound. Kusta takes down Dynamo as well, so now it's a 2 versus 4. Make that a 2 versus 3 as Funshine with the AWP is going to get a kill on Razor and drop the bomb planter just after the bomb goes down. That was Quicksilver, but a nice play here from Fade, making it a 1 versus 1. And the man of the first map is Kusta here in this 1v1 situation with Fade, and that smoke is huge. Kusta's going to have to push through it. He has no choice here. Here comes the fake. Kusta's just going to go for the spam, and this is going to be an interesting duel here as Fade does some damage. Molly raining out. Kusta needs to push, and oh my gosh, he's not going to do it. Bomb is going to get defused here by Fade, so pros don't fake. Fade holding that defuse does win the round for Flying V at 12-2 here coming into the final round, and this is a round that Tempo has to win. I cannot say that enough. They have to win this.
Yeah, if they want any chance on that CT side, technically it's possible to come back with having 2 rounds here, but they're not leaving themselves any room for errors at all. And quite honestly, it's quite difficult to go flawlessly throughout those rounds. So again, not impossible. We'll see if they can pick up another round here, as not very equipped. They have 3 Tech 9s on the board, and they have Kusta and Whitehound. They're going to be utilizing those AK-47s. So Whitehound actually the top fragger right now. Kusta not really able to get alive too much, as he hasn't spent a whole lot of time with an AWP, to be honest. And I think that is one of his stronger features, as we are going to see this going to be an A-side play here, is already pushing front of sight are the T's. They're going to be making this happen right away here, and we'll see if they can make it happen, as coming up to the front of sight, still trying to smoke and flash, and they have been able to, they started the plant, but going down, that's going to be Anomaly. Razor coming back, taking down Funshine. They're going to attempt that bomb plant once again. Quicksilver pushing right through the smoke, and he's right beside Fade. Fade eventually goes down, and now the bomb's planted. This is a difficult retake, especially with all these smokes here for the Flying V.
What a
He's
round.
sticking it.
He's sticking the defuse, and he is going to get dropped. So that very important third round for Tempo, that basically makes it so that if Tempo loses this pistol round, they're not out of it. If they go down 14-2, or I'm sorry, math is hard for me. If they went down 13-2, they would then be staring at a potential 16-2 loss, because the pistol round could carry into 3-round wins for Flying V. Instead, Tempo can lose pistol here, and it would be basically playing for overtime at that point. But yeah, a nice play there from Tempo, and that was a bit of a chaotic round. Nades were just flying in every direction. Neither team really wanted to lose that. But luckily, Tempo comes out with it, and they're going to be going into the second half with 3 wins on the T side, and they know exactly what they need to do, which is lock it down. They cannot let Flying V take this pistol round here. They need to set the pace for the second half right here and now.
Yeah, this is a massive round for Tempo, and again, the most even playing fields on these very CT-sided maps are these pistol rounds. So Nuke as well, very, very important that you get this first one, and especially with that scoreline. If Flying V can get the pistol here, they're very close to pushing it to map point. And again, 12 rounds on the T side you already have. They don't need to go very far here, but it is a CT-sided map. We'll see what happens, as very quickly on, we're going to see a number of Ts actually entering the stairwell underneath here, right by Squeaky, and bouncing around on the other side of that door. That's going to be Whitehound just trying to peek over, and they actually expected it might be an early B play, but already rotating all their players back. That's going to be Tempo with a stack over on this A site. So we'll see the Flying V. They're actually heading to head back over to that B site, so playing this very, very well. Razor actually playing a position where if you came out from, you can't see him at all. He's looking directly at the ground. He is going to be playing just for sounds at this point, and they're going to be pushing into sight. Razor is going to be the man to watch here, as he has still not been spotted. Now he is going to peek out, but goes down immediately to Dynamo. What a round by Flying V.
He was in such a good position with that 5-7. He basically baited out his entire team, and he slowly takes his time to hit the shot. And I don't know if it's the server's fault or if he just didn't hit. That looked like a gold shot to me. Dynamo with a little bit of a flick there, able to take him down. But that is so painful to watch. He sat there and waited for so long setting that play up, and it didn't pay off.
And look at how aggressive the CTs are getting. If they just play very slow in the Flying V, they're going to be able to make this work and go up to 14 rounds here, as no armor on the CT side. They look like they're honestly just not giving up, but the way that they're just running around the map right now, they're trying to utilize this aggression. Hasn't worked out so far. No one dropped to 67 HP. He's going to hit a beautiful shot, though, onto 2 players. That's Quicksilver and Kusta trying to force the issue. And now we see Anomaly and Whitehound. Last 2 CTs, one up inside of A site. And actually, the way he's playing, he might be able to get a frag onto Fade, but Fade just slowly walking through here on the flank and does spot Anomaly. Easy peasy. Whitehound to his left, and that's going to be the end of the round. 14-3. As Flying V kind of made Tempo look a little silly in that round.
This is the point where I'm scratching my head more and more. Watching Tempo play this, it's obvious that they were not really prepared coming into Overpass.
Yeah, I think your first, I think it was just to catch them off guard. I think you were right on the money on that one. It doesn't look like they have enough kind of organized to be picking the map for other reasons.
We see that a lot. A lot of teams will pick maps like Overpass or Cobblestone even, trying to catch their opponent off guard, not thinking about the fact that they have to play the T-side first. So if they don't have T-side strategy, they're going to be down to an early disadvantage. And that's what you're seeing here. They went down 12-3, losing pistol, probably going to make it 15-3, but TMP doing everything they can to prevent overtime. They really don't want to be playing for that. They want to try and hold that 15th round off as long as they possibly can here. So they're going to opt to force up here. 3 from Moss, a Swag 7, and a Bison. Not exactly the best gun as he's facing up against full armor from the T side.
Yeah, and one thing to note is we just saw Dynamo. He threw a Molotov right into hazard barrels, and that was all the way back from behind the tracks. So that means that, again, not only have they worked this map, they have a lot of utility memorized. And that was a beautiful, again, it didn't really take any effect there, but it just shows that the Flying V, they came into this map knowing what was going on. And it, like we said, it didn't quite work out catching them off guard. So Flying V trying to work this A site here, and we'll see if they can make it happen. Again, it's not an easy site to take, but it is when you get those 2 frags. As now heading in now, that's going to be only a frag for the CTs, Razor and Kusta. They're trying to prevent this from going to map point. No kits at all. Swag 7 on Kusta, Razor with a Bison, facing off against some deadly AK-47s. Fade with that P90, and he's actually, that's going to be Fade coming around from B. I don't know if it's going to actually matter at this point, but Razor trying to hop up onto the electric box. It doesn't work out. Kusta, again, last one alive. has a swag 7, will be able to get that one frag, gets a second one, makes it look easy, but Fade with the Pro 90 comes in, cleans up, and that's going to be match point here for the Flying V.
Yeah, this is going to be one of those instances where TMP probably looks back and they think, man, what were we thinking picking this map? Ultimately, the problem is if I'm playing at a level like this in North American CS, I'm going to be practicing Overpass. Not because I want to pick it, because I want to be prepared for when teams do pick it. And I don't really care how bad my T side is. All I want to practice is my CT side, because if I can shut down a team who thinks they're going to catch me off guard by picking Overpass, I want to show them wrong and get at least 12 rounds on the CT side. If I do that, they're not going to be coming into the second half with any kind of momentum. They're going to be completely demoralized, losing so badly on their own map pick. And that's, I think, what you're seeing here. They are able to get 2 quick kills here, but no one responds. Taking down Quicksilver, making it a 3 versus 3. Kusta, Whitehound, and Anomaly, and Whitehound is dropped. Kusta, the only man with a rifle, and that's the man you want to have it. Gets the first kill, that's Jay, making it a 2 versus 2 retake here, but no kit. And a Nova on Anomaly. Anomaly does get that first kill. They're making it a 2v1 in favor of Flying V. Flash is going to rain out here. He's got to just stick this bomb, as I don't think there's a kit on site. Oh, there was. Anomaly actually did get it. So a round going the way of Tempo there. And surprisingly, Tempo just kind of buying time at this point. They were able to take round number 4 here in round 19. But it's really just a matter of time before Flying V gets that final round. They've been playing so well on this map, and their T side looks very solid. You have to hope, though, that Tempo has something up their sleeve. Maybe an impressive boost. Who knows? We could see maybe a Kustov pass. I don't know.
It could happen. Pass? Who knows? He's got an AWP in hand, but he's actually going to be going through for that quick mid pick here. Actually, he's dropping a smoke. He will be boosting up into balloons, and will get that beautiful shot. Just 180s and flicks, gets Funshine, as now the man advantage for the CTs. And this game, although on match point is the Flying V, inevitably they just need 1 to close this out. We can't completely count out Tempo, because they've, again, this is a very CT-sided map, but they can build some momentum and shut down the Flying V. We could see an overtime here. Again, it's a little bit out of the room of, I don't know, being realistic, but I think it could happen. We could see some crazy stuff here.
I mean, I've seen crazier comebacks. I would be
being pretty
lying.
optimistic.
I'd be lying if I thought it was going to happen. Right now, Flying V is just outplaying Tempo. Left and right, they seem to have a better handle on the way this map works. And look at the patience right now from them. They're just playing the clock, making sure that they don't get into any situations they don't need to here. Razor, the man on short pit, or a short pipe, he's going to have to get this kill here, and he does. Jay is down. No one dropped by Quicksilver as well. Kusta with the op kill onto Fade, and Razor coming in, taking down Dynamo. So 15-5, possibly putting Flying V on an eco here. I would imagine they are going to eco, but again, Flying V might actually shoot themselves in the foot a little bit. We talked about this yesterday. Teams have a tendency to get that early advantage, and they kind of coast. They set cruise control. They go and, you know, get distracted by playing, making like silly plays, forcing peaks they don't need to, taking duels they don't need to, buying guns they don't really need. I don't think Flying V is going to do that. They are more than aware of how devastating that can be, but a nice nade here from Tempo is going to slow things down. Finally, Fade coming in with a kill, but there's the blend around we expected to see. Quicksilver with 2, Whitehound with 2, and Razor with 1. The only man dying was Quicksilver to a nice P250 headshot, but still, another round on the board for Tempo. How long can they keep this up? That's going to be the question that we want the answer to.
Yeah, exactly. And even on those anti-ecos, we realize that they don't have armor, that kind of stuff. We've said this before. It is important to get those spray downs and get like the 5 people staying alive, just ending it really quickly, especially when you're climbing on the comeback right now. With how powerful pistols are in this game on ecos, quite honestly, if you can get that flawlessly, that is a good feeling. So Tempo, they do close that one out. We're in round 22, 6 rounds on the board for them. And again, this is not impossible. We've seen crazier comebacks happen before, but it's going to come down to whether or not, like you were saying, if Flying V can just take one more round and just go and utilize the strategies and the executions that they have been utilizing to get the 3 rounds that they have. We're going to find out here if they can make it happen. They do have armor and Tech 9s. Again, a very, very powerful pistol. So they're going to be entering into this A site. We do see Dynamo getting a beautiful shot onto Quicksilver. Anomaly now from the truck is going to go down. And is this going to be the end of Tempo as we know it? Are they going to get dropped to a 5-man Tech 9 armor buy?
I was actually fearing that when I saw the buy come out. I thought this will be the round that Flying V takes it. And
yeah,
it looks like that's going to be the case here. Razor, the last man standing. 1 versus 4. Gets 2 quick kills,
baby.
though. More than manageable now. Gets into a duel with Funshine and ultimately does not come out the victor. So that's going to be game and match point for Flying V. So Flying V winning 2-0 over Tempo. And I just want to point this out. The last time we saw Tempo Gaming play in one of our tournaments, it was a different roster. But guess what map they picked? It was Overpass.
Ooh.
At least
maybe
if I recall, it was their map to pick, and they picked Overpass. So, who knows? Maybe Glowstick's getting in the team's head telling me, guys, we got to play Overpass. It's my favorite map. But anyway, that's going to be it for us. Just a reminder to everyone out there, we do have a Twitter giveaway going on right now. That's sponsored by yours truly. You can head on over to @Bach_TV and @GoRGNTV. You'll find the tweet, retweet it, and follow both of those channels. It's a Wasteland Rebel AK. So if you want to get in on that giveaway, all you got to do is go to my Twitter and go to RGN's Twitter. That's @GoRGNTV and @Bach_TV. Hit that retweet button and follow both of us, and you will be eligible. We'll be drafting as soon as we're done casting tonight. So that is it for us, I do believe. Sprawll, if you have anything to say, now is your chance to get it out.
You guys can follow me on Twitter, but I only have my love to offer. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. No, I'm joking. You guys can follow me on Twitter. I do giveaways quite commonly as well, so look out for that in the future. So yeah, official Sprawll on Twitter. What time is it right now? It is 10 p.m., so I have plenty of time. I'm going to be starting up my own stream here in just a moment. So again, you can follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Sprawll. I'm going to at least do 1 or 2 games here, and then we will call it a night. So guys, thank you very much for tuning in. This was the RGN New Year's Open. We got plenty of action coming your way. We have just begun. So make sure you guys come back in the future, and we'll see you again real soon. Have a great night. Cheers, my friends.